This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.
Welcome to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, the U.S. News & World Report's #1 engineering school in the United States that offers a master's as its highest degree for 18 consecutive years. Rose-Hulman, where you come to find yourself. Find yourself through personal growth, through personal development, through study, research, and invention. Rose-Hulman, your home for academic and athletic excellence.
You are watching Rose-Hulman football on the Indiana Sports Network. You're watching. This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.
Welcome to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, the U.S. News & World Report's #1 engineering school in the United States that offers a master's as its highest degree for 18 consecutive years. Rose-Hulman, where you come to find yourself. Find yourself through personal growth, through personal development, through study, research, and invention. Rose-Hulman, your home for academic and athletic excellence.
You are watching Rose-Hulman football on the Indiana Sports Network.
And welcome to Rose-Hulman football on Indiana Sports Network. Today it's homecoming in Terre Haute, Indiana at the campus of Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, where Manchester University has come to call. And hello, everyone. I'm Herb King, along with my partner, Tony Wilson. We're going to bring you all the exciting action of Rose-Hulman football here on Indiana Sports Network. And we have a ball game, again, that's very important in the conference standing for Rose-Hulman. Rose-Hulman, of course, was chosen by the coaches preseason to win the HCAC again. They were the champions last year and made it to the national tournament in Division III football. They were chosen to do that, but they played a very tough non-conference schedule, losing their 3 ball games to nationally ranked DePaul 17-14, losing to Trine by 1 point, and Trine at that point was a reserve in the polls, the national polls. And then Albion took care of Rose-Hulman in week 3, and Rose-Hulman really had, I think, a collapse in the middle of the ball game, and Albion got the better of them. But they rebounded, winning at Anderson last week 45-7, and that brings us to our ball game this afternoon. It's Manchester University coming in. Again, we have a 2 p.m. start because it is homecoming. Great festivities. Tony, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere today. You know, it's a perfect fall day for football. The leaves are starting to turn. You know, a nice sunny day, and like you said, the atmosphere out behind us is just phenomenal. You know, hard to find a place to park out here today. I figured that out pretty quick, but no, everyone's excited. We've got a great crowd. The band's here. I mean, it should be a pretty fun afternoon.
Well, again, Rose-Hulman continues its defense of its conference title in this second game, and really those first 3 ball games don't really matter when it comes to making the national tournament. They do if you're looking at rating points and those kinds of things, but Rose-Hulman has been one of the prepared teams in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference the last few years. We've had an opportunity to see those ball games, and this year's no different as we look at the offensive power of Rose-Hulman. It's right behind Miguel Robertson, the junior, that's 6'3", from Petaluma, California. He's the guy that makes things run offensively by designing what's going on, and without him in the lineup, that's when Rose-Hulman was having some issues.
Yeah, absolutely. He's averaging over 200 yards a game. You know, he is the commander of the line down there. He's done a pretty good job so far this year. A good target, Daniel Perry. He's got 3 touchdowns, about 90 yards per game. Also, Adam Tice-Saliu, he's got 3 touchdowns, 58 yards per game. A lot of targets for Robertson out there. And, you know, it's a Manchester defense that's really struggled this year. You would hope he can have a big day today.
Well, the running game has also been one of those things that Rose-Hulman struggled a little bit early on, and partially because of the defensive fronts that they're facing at DePaul, Trine, and Albion. But I think they're getting things underway that way. Rose-Hulman has had an issue where at least 4 or 5 years ago it was tough to find the speed guy. And when you're talking about Jalen Hobbs and Daniel Uri, Adam Tice-Saliu, and Tice-Saliu is one of those unsung heroes. When I say this, he lines up on the weak side of the offensive formation, and he's one of those guys that can catch the deep ball and really stretch the defense, and it allows Uri to do other things. And Uri is one of those guys, when he catches the football in the open field, he's lightning in a bottle of being able to do those things. We're looking for big things again this afternoon from running back Grant Raperta, and Lance Shelton, the senior, has stepped in and done a lot of good things as well for Rose-Hulman. Looking at the offensive line, they're going to have different guys in. Chris Schlitz, will move over. He'll play one of the line positions. Justin Pearson, Kenneth Gibson, Dylan Page, and Devlin Spradlin. And Martin in this, Alex Martin is out for the day. He won't be playing. And as you see Rose-Hulman appear in the end zone ready to take the field, that'll be the starting lineup for Rose-Hulman's offensive group. We'll watch the Fighting Engineers take the field and get ready for this one. And we'll then have the coin toss. But the Engineers are filing out, all of them. It's homecoming, and if you've ever been to Rose-Hulman for a homecoming game, the back of this place is packed with tents. There's live music. There's free food. It's just a party that everybody can enjoy, in a family-friendly atmosphere here at Rose-Hulman, and everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. And the number one thing, of course, for this afternoon is this football game.
Yeah, and it's a big day on campus. You know, they've got the women's soccer playing right now. The men follow them up, and then later this evening we've got the volleyball match over there against Transylvania. So a huge day here on campus.
And speaking of that volleyball game, we'll have that game live here on Indiana Sports Network when the conclusion of this ball game takes place. Actually, my partner Tony here will walk inside and call the volleyball game. So he's got a big day in front of him, and Rose-Hulman has a big day just being homecoming. Everybody's here. As he mentioned before, there's not a parking place that can be found on this campus. Everybody is here, and Rose-Hulman's getting ready to take the field. As they do every ball game, they'll run out and they'll pound onto the actual elephant head in the middle of this stadium. So let's see what we can get done here.
Yeah, we look at.
And here they go. And here come the Fighting Engineers onto the field. And they'll take the field. And with that, we'll pause for a short break. You're watching Rose-Hulman football on Indiana Sports Network.
If somebody's kind of on the fence of going into a recruiting office or just reaching out to a recruiter, I would absolutely encourage it, if anything, just for the information.
We have a lot of enlistment bonuses out there right now, upwards to about $20,000. If you're in college or you plan to be to college, this is a great choice for you, because our organization, we look for students who want to go to college. We also have educational benefits where we pay up to 100% of tuition.
To everyone who loves great food, Let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each Butterburger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
So what do we do before we cross the street?
We look both ways for cars.
No cars. All right, let's go.
But Daddy, why do you have to hold my hand?
To keep you safe. That's why we look for cars. I'm watching out for danger to keep you safe.
Daddy, who watches out for you?
Protect your family and loved ones with Micah Bonomo.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes has the mission of leading every coach and every athlete into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ and His church. Through camps and huddles, character coaches, and special events, we are making an impact in West Central Indiana. Check out where you can get involved at our website, wcindianafca.org. FCA, we are the heart and soul in sports.
I'm All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor for York Automotive. York is my #1 pick for your next car, truck, or SUV. Shop from over 600 vehicles at yorkautomotive.com today.
You're #1 at York.
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
And we had the national anthem. You'll be able to see, hopefully, the ROTC group as they brought out the colors for this afternoon's homecoming game. A choir for Rose-Hulman sang the national anthem. The pep band is installed on the track instead of being up in the stands because there's not any room. As you'll see this place really packed out on the home side. Visitor side, there's a lot of room. Manchester, of course, located in eastern Indiana, just closer to the Fort Wayne area, and located in North Manchester, Indiana, as you see the captains going out for this afternoon's ball game. And with that, we're looking at, again, Tyler Smith, number 8 is Abe Grizaw, the sophomore going out for Rose-Hulman. I'm looking at the captains, a little bit different group as we normally see in those. And again, going out for the coin toss. It'll be a live toss as it is in college football. A lot of times in a high school and other levels, they actually are required to do those like 15 minutes before the start of the ball game. And this one will be a live toss. Rose-Hulman has traditionally deferred the toss if they would win it, and we'll see what happens this way as well.
You know, you were talking about Manchester a little bit. It's been 13 years since they've defeated Rose-Hulman. Back in 2009 was the last time. Rose holds the all-time lead in this series, 23-8, so it's one of those conference opponents that they've pretty much dominated. Look to continue that today.
Well, Manchester has struggled with their program at times. Every now and then they have good teams that have come up, and Nate Jensen, their head coach, has a background from Alma, Michigan, and I can remember when he was actually there. I was up and actually watched one of the ball clubs that he had a chance to coach as an assistant, and he took over. I've had ball players play for Nate at Manchester, and he runs a good program, does a lot of good things, but it is a tougher place to recruit. Rose-Hulman is a nationally recruiting school, and so you'll see players from 27 different states on Rose-Hulman's roster, and with that means that the Rose-Hulman coaches are scouring the country to find Division III athletes that fit the profile that will go to Rose-Hulman. Major in engineering, and when we say engineering, most of the Rose-Hulman football players have engineering in their degrees or some semblance of a science background, but most of them are engineers, and that's why this place is ranked as the #1 engineering school in the country. They're able to recruit players that normally would want to go just, if they want to go Division II or somewhere like that, they can actually entice them to come to Rose-Hulman simply because of the academic prowess that Rose-Hulman has. As both these teams line up for the kickoff, it'll be Manchester kicking the football off to Rose-Hulman. And as we prepare for this one again, Troy, it's good to have you alongside me today, and we'll get things going and have a great afternoon. It's a beautiful day for football, about 60 degrees and partly cloudy skies. It's just a beautiful day here, beautiful fall day. The leaves haven't started turning, but you can tell they're just starting to get a little bit of color in them. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. A beautiful day here at Rose-Hulman. Kickoff, number 49, Matthew Mason. He's from Mount Blanchard, Ohio, and Riverdale High School. Who pooch one up there, only goes down about the 20-yard line. One of the up backs will take it. He'll move it over to the right side and tackle just shy of the 30-yard line. That's where Rose-Hulman will take over with the football.
That's one thing Manchester struggled is field position this season. It seems like they've always been on their heels. So we'll have to watch that today, see if Rose-Hulman, if they're going to go a little bit more on the attack offensively or if they're going to settle down and kind of play a field position game.
Lance Sheldon was the player that returned the ball out to the 29-yard line. 1st and 10, Rose-Hulman. Robertson hands it back off. Raperta up the middle. He'll pick up 8, 9, 10, make it 11 yards and a first down for Rose-Hulman up over the 40-yard line. So really good run, and the offensive line took over, and here we're going to go. Fast-paced offense for Rose-Hulman. They're calling it NASCAR. It's fast-paced as quickly as they can go. Ball snapped. Quick hitch off the edge. He's got it out to Tice Lou. He's going forward. He'll pick up another first down. So 2 quick plays and 2 first downs for the Fighting Engineers.
Yeah, Markel Jackson got caught trying to jump the route on that one and got beat pretty badly.
Well, nice play again by Tice Lou as he picks one. He'll go inside just a little bit more. The H-back is set in there. They're play-action fake. They're going deep. No, right down the sideline. A nice pass and another first down. And Rose-Hulman has the ball at the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. 3 plays, 3 first downs, and Rose-Hulman is marching this football very quickly. Bunch formation to the right-hand side. Robertson fakes. No, he'll pull it back outside. It's a screen pass down the right sideline. Touchdown, Rose-Hulman. Daniel Hury on the reception and score from 30 yards out. And Rose-Hulman's on the board with 4:02 left to go here in the first period.
Harry's 4th touchdown of the year, and talk about striking quick. Not even a minute into the ball game, and the Engineers are on the board.
Really defensively, the corner should have popped his head outside to try to force him back in. Instead, he got walled off, and a beautiful touchdown lane for Rose-Hulman, and they're on the board here in homecoming. Kick is up. And it's good as well. It's 7-0. Rose-Hulman with the lead when we return for more action on Indiana Sports Network.
There is a greatness inside of you, a passion, a strength, a determination. So embrace it. Embrace the greatness that you bring to everything you do. Embrace the idea that you can do work that makes an impact, work that keeps the country moving forward and our economy strong. Because not everyone has what you have. And that's exactly what connects you to all of us at Great Dane. There's greatness inside of you. Are you ready to embrace it?
Treatment for those with mental illnesses and addiction issues has evolved over the years.
In the late 1960s, Indiana's mental health system began to take shape.
From 1971
to 2021,
Hamilton Center has touched the lives of thousands of people in Central and West Central Indiana.
We are committed to the latest therapies
to improve the quality of life for those with mental illnesses.
Treatment works.
Recovery is possible.
And thank you, Indiana.
This game is presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
At Lynn's Pharmacy,
Connor Whitesell will kick it off for Rose-Hulman. He pounds the ball deep, gets it down to about the 7-yard line, and that's where Manchester will try to return it. Up the middle, a wide open seam. He gets it out to the 42-yard line, and that's where Manchester will have the football. 1st and 10 when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
At Lynn's Pharmacy, we're more than just your pharmacist. We're your neighbors.
Our kids go to the same schools. We eat at the same restaurants.
We sit next to you in church.
When I listen to a symptom.
When I fill a prescription.
When I offer advice, I'm not just helping a customer. I'm helping my neighbor and a friend. My name is Lynn Hofstetter, and I'm the proud owner of Lynn's Pharmacy, a modern pharmacy with old-fashioned values and personal service dedicated to keeping you, your family, and our community healthy since 1872.
Here at Lynn's Pharmacy.
Manchester hands the ball up the middle, and going nowhere was the running back, and that's David Smith. Smith also had the kick return, that outstanding return, got the ball to the 42. He lost 2 yards, though, on their first carry, and Manchester with the football. They're in a spread-oriented offense, very similar look to what Rose-Hulman has, and they have a ball 2nd and 12.
Figure they're going to try to slow this down a little bit, keep Rose off the field.
Deep pass down the middle, and right behind could have been picked, is it? No, they're going to say it hit the ground. Incomplete pass, it'll bring up 3rd and 12. Quarterback for Manchester is number 12. That's Trevor O'Brien from Vero Beach, Florida. Running back David Smith from Indianapolis North Central High School. Peyton Fry, number 8, is the tight end or H-back. And they'll be spread now in a 2-by-2 set. Other wide receivers, DJ Bellman and Brett Woolsey. Also, Cam Hall will play wide receiver for the Spartans. Step back, pressure, throws it up and picked off. Great pick on the backside by number 2. That's Tice Miller. He's down the left sideline. He could go. He's down inside the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Rose-Hulman. They'll mark it at the 14, and the Fighting Engineers are in scoring position again.
Boy, O'Brien airmailed that one pretty bad, and Miller was there to pick it off. A good return, too. Boy, they could put this one out of reach pretty quick at this pace.
Well, and you'll see them line up and go as quickly as they can. That's why we'll keep one here until we have a break in the action. And now the defense, if you see them on the sideline, they are just pumped up right on the sideline, going absolutely crazy with their turnover idea of what's happening. Rose-Hulman with the football. Robertson, pump fake, went for the deep throw, gets it up to Ty Saloon, just threw that one out of bounds. Good defensive play that time by Manchester on the outside, as their secondary man was right in position and forced Robertson to throw it away, and that was really a good throwaway as well. Didn't want to turn it back over to Manchester in this point.
Yeah, he put it where his man could get it, but no one else.
Ruperta takes the ball up the middle. He'll gain 5, 6, 7, 8 yards on that play as he ran it right up the middle. Great blocking by the offensive line for Rose-Hulman as they're controlling the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 3. They'll give him 7 on the carry. Ruperta again side. He'll take the football. Nope. Yes, he does. Up the middle, and he gets stymied. And that'll bring up a 4th and 2. Now the key, does Rose-Hulman go? They're going to take the field goal right now, put points on the board, not waste any time with it, so outruns the field goal unit.
Kyle Reberg coming in. He's 3 of 5 on the season.
And Reberg kicked the extra point earlier, just about 3 minutes ago, as Rose-Hulman has an opportunity here on this one. It would be a 24-yard field goal. He kicks it up, and it's good. And Rose-Hulman has 10 points on the board here in the first quarter with 12:06 left to go in quarter number 1. It's Rose-Hulman 10, Manchester nothing.
Your all-pro running back, Jonathan Taylor here for York Automotive. Looking for an all-pro deal on your next car, truck, or SUV? York is my #1 pick. With over 600 vehicles in stock, York has the largest selection to meet your needs. We're talking new, pre-owned, and commercial vehicles. Take it from one all-pro to another, York has your best deal.
Shop online at yorkautomotive.com and we'll show you why we're not #1, you are.
We're not #1.
You are.
You're #1 at York.
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network. You are watching Rose-Hulman football on the Indiana Sports Network.
Connor Whitesell will again tee it up, and we'll see if we can get this kickoff deep again. And again, a really nice return by David Smith on the last one. Got it to the 42, but Manchester could not move the football. And with that interception and a quick return, put Rose-Hulman down in scoring position. They didn't pick up the first down, but they did pick up the field goal, and it's 10-0, a two-score lead now for Rose-Hulman. And that's really what the Fighting Engineers want to do, is try to put the points on the board early and make sure they can control this football game. Whitesell with another kick, gets it down to the 5-yard line, a deep kick, opportunity to not only return it but kick and stop him down there. They do. It'll be Manchester football. 1st and 10 when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
So what do we do before we cross the street?
We look both ways for cars.
No cars. All right, let's go.
But Daddy, why do you have to hold my hand?
To keep you safe. That's why we look for cars. I'm watching out for danger to keep you safe.
Daddy, who watches out for you?
Protect your family. And
it is. Yep. O'Brien,
he'll throw it across the middle, and it's picked off again. Great defensive play, but a short throw by O'Brien. He underthrew his receiver by about 4 yards, and coming up with that pick was, for Rose-Hulman, was number 24, and that's Richard Brown, the 6'1 senior from Columbia, South Carolina. Picks it off at the 48. Here comes Rose-Hulman.
That's the second time they've really pressured O'Brien, and boy, he's just kind of throwing them up for grabs so far.
So Rose-Hulman with the football, 1st and 10, balls at the 48, and defensive pressure. Again, 2 throws and 2 picks for Rose-Hulman. Ruperta inside, makes one man miss, and he'll pick up about 2 yards.
It's a nice tackle down there by Markel Jackson, a sophomore out of Sarasota, Florida.
And here we go. It's Rose-Hulman with the football. 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8. Rose-Hulman sets back. Robertson, he's got a man down the middle. Picks up Tice Salou right down the middle, down to the 26-yard line.
We can tell so far the speed of Rose-Hulman is just not able to be matched by Manchester.
Again, Rose-Hulman with the football. 2-by-2 set this time. Ruperta in the backfield. They'll throw the quick slant, almost picked off. And was it caught? They'll say, no, it wasn't. And that could have changed the ball game as Manchester's number 1, and this is the cornerback, Markel Jackson, the sophomore from Sarasota, had a pick 6 and missed the football.
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen him jump that route. The first time it bit him, they got about a 15-yard gain, but this time, darn near came away with a pick 6.
Don't be surprised if Rose-Hulman has a double move on him the next time to try to see if they can get it deep. Hury on the motion. He'll take the jet sweep off the left side. He's got speed, and he's got room to run, and he picks up the first down on about a 16-yard gain. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line.
I believe that was Jalen Hobbs.
It was Hobbs. I'm sorry. I said Hury, and it was Hobbs.
Yeah, junior wide receiver. Boy, he's quick out of the backfield.
They run that jet every now and then back and forth. Here comes 3 receivers to the right side. Robertson will take the snap, step back, has a man open in the flats, throws it out there, turns the corner, 5, and does he get in? Out of bounds at the 1. Thought maybe he got the football across the pylon, but he wasn't able quite to do that one. Again, a nice play. Ruperta picks the ball up and picks up 10 yards and a first down. It's 1st and goal. Rose-Hulman, ball at the 1-yard line.
Manchester completely on their heels so far in the first 5 minutes of this ball game.
And Ruperta will take the direct snap, powers it off tackle, and he scores. Touchdown, Rose-Hulman. It's 16-0. Rose-Hulman here in the first period of play. 10:22 left to go in the quarter.
6 rushes so far today for the Engineers, 38 yards. They are averaging over 6 yards a carry so far today. And, boy, just complete domination early on.
Rayberg will kick the extra point, and the opportunity for Rose-Hulman It's down. The kick is up. Looks good. And it is 17-0. Rose-Hulman will return for more action here on Indiana Sports Network.
If somebody's kind of on the fence of going into a recruiting office or just reaching out to a recruiter, I would absolutely encourage it, if anything, just for the information.
We have a lot of enlistment bonuses out there right now, upwards to about $20,000. If you're in college or you plan to be to college, this is a great choice for you, because our organization, we look for students who want to go to college. We also have educational benefits where we pay up to 100% of tuition.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
So Rose-Hulman very quickly, a touchdown and a field goal off of 2 interceptions, and Rose-Hulman finds themselves not only playing well, but playing fast and furious this afternoon against Manchester University. They lead 17-0 here in the first quarter, and we're early in the first quarter as well. And for Rose-Hulman, they desperately need to get things back to an understanding that they can be in charge of football games. They didn't do it the first 3 ball games, but boy, they put some points on the board in a hurry in this one.
Yeah, I'd say they're well in command of this thing. Manchester's got to find a way to keep their composure here and stay on the field.
Whitesell pounds it deep, gives it up to Smith. He'll take the football at the 20, up to the 25, makes a nice cut, and you can see he's very athletic, has an opportunity to do things. Manchester football when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Manchester with a football. Smith cuts his way up. He'll pick up a yard. We want to thank our sponsors for this afternoon's ball game, the Indiana Army National Guard, who sponsored today's pregame. Culver's, Farm Bureau Insurance, and their agent locally in Micah Bonomo. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Great Dane, the Hamilton Center, Lynn's Pharmacy, Riddell National Bank, and York Automotive. O'Brien will set the offense for Manchester as they find themselves in a power-oriented formation, tight end and wing to the top. They'll run jet sweep over to the right side and stuck for about a 4-yard loss for Rose-Hulman, and it's number 11. That's Riley Roberts, a senior from Greenwood, one of the outstanding players for Rose-Hulman. He picked up a nice tackle for loss.
Yeah, one of the senior leader theirs came firing into the backfield and shut that one down before it could get going. The Spartans now looking at 3rd and long.
3rd and 13 for Manchester. Ball at the 25-yard line as they signal in the plays. Smith will sit alongside O'Brien in the backfield. They'll run a twins formation. Actually, it's trips here to the bottom of your screen for Manchester. They'll roll out to the side. They've got opportunity, and he's going to throw it down the middle, has a man, and it's short of the first down. It'll bring up 4th down and 6. The ball will rest at the 35, make it 4th and 3. They're going to give him good yardage on that throw, but not enough for the first down, and so out trots the punting unit for Manchester.
It's the first drive of the game for Manchester that hasn't ended in a turnover, so that's a bonus, but boy, still not able to stay on the field. Their defense getting sent right back out there. You got to believe they're getting a little gassed.
Matthew Mason is the punter. He also does the kicking for Manchester. A punt this one is short, shallow punt. It could roll. It does. It'll get down close to the 42-yard line. Rose-Hulman will have it when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
So what do we do before we cross the street?
We look both ways for cars.
No cars. All right, let's go.
But Daddy, why do you have to hold my hand?
To keep you safe. That's why we look for cars. I'm watching out for danger to keep you safe.
Daddy, who watches out for you?
Protect your family and loved ones with Micah Bonomo.
Robertson, he'll throw the fade up to Tyson Lue. He's got it down the sideline. They're going to call an interference call, and nobody's going to be happy about that one on that sideline, as Manchester's going to look and go, what did he do? Well, he fought for the football. Tyson Lue, we thought, could have grabbed that one and hauled it in. He didn't, but with that, it'll be a pass interference call. It looks to go against Manchester, so we'll mark this one off. 15 yards, that'll give him a first down, and Nate Jensen's not really happy with the call, but at the same time, you've got to really go for Rose-Hulman right now, as you saw that hitch cause issues, and they've got a sideline warning on Manchester.
Boy, they've really been attacking Markel Jackson so far in this, and you wonder if they saw something on the videotape before the game. But
well, I know what they saw is right now Tyson Lue, it matched up on anybody in this conference, has the height and athletic ability to beat people coverage-wise one-on-one. Inside Ruperta, nope, they're going to throw the little screen out to the outside again. Here he goes down the sideline. He'll pick up about 8 yards. They'll give him 7, and it'll be second down and 3.
Good block by Jalen Hobbs out on the edge.
Again, you take Hobbs and Hury on that front side, and then you throw a really nice Alex Grescock, the senior, blocking out front. There's another quick screen, and a kid in the seam down inside the 15. He's still on his feet. He broke another tackle. He's down to the 22. It'll be first down, Rose-Hulman.
Barry, a little bowling ball out of Katy, Texas on that one. I think he bounced off everybody on the field and gained about 12 yards.
Daniel Hury has that speed that you just dream about in Division III athletics. He can make and change a game very quickly, and so can number 4, and that's Jalen Hobbs. They use both of them very well. Shovel pass inside to Grescock. He's got about 4 or 5 yards right up the middle. What a nice little play.
Rose-Hulman sitting up 17, but they're not satisfied with that as they are keeping the tempo up. They've slowed down just a little from the first couple drives, but still big chunks of yardage on every play.
Hury over to the left. They're going to roll to the right side, throw the quick hitch, and he just overthrew him, and that's not a good pass. At the same time, he had a man wide open, and all of those things are boding in Rose-Hulman's favor. They have an opportunity to continue to move the football to bring up 3rd and 5.
Rose-Hulman already over 150 yards of offense on the day.
Well, they've had short field, so they have a lot of points for 150 yards offense. Inside is Ruperta. He's going close. He'll get to the 15-yard line. Now you're going to see as Rose-Hulman go for the field goal, and they are. And one of the nice things about what Coach Jeff Sokol is doing right now is he's just going to take points and keep playing hard and not worry about big play opportunities to try to run scores up early in a ball game. Just going to do what he's wanting to do, and bringing out the kicker in this situation is not a bad thing for Rose-Hulman. He's been accurate, and this will be a 32-yard field goal. Rehberg with the kick. It's up, and another field goal is good for Rose-Hulman. And right away, Rose-Hulman with a 20-0 lead here in the first period of play. We'll return for more on Indiana Sports Network.
There is a greatness inside of you, a passion, a strength, a determination. So embrace it. Embrace the greatness that you bring to everything you do. Embrace the idea that you can do work that makes an impact, work that keeps the country moving forward and our economy strong. Because not everyone has what you have. And that's exactly what connects you to all of us at Great Dane. There's greatness inside of you. Are you ready to embrace it?
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
So Rose-Hulman will tee it up again. It's 20-0. Rose-Hulman with the lead and in control of this ball game in the first period of play. And it's been their defense that's maintained everything. Yes, Rose-Hulman's moved the ball offensively at will until they got down inside the 15-yard line or so, and then they've had a little bit of trouble. They've had 4th down and short with 2 yards to go, and Again, Coach Sokol has taken the field goal each time, and he's lengthened the lead. It's 20-0 Rose-Hulman. There's the kick they want, down inside and in the end zone, and Manchester will have the ball when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
Treatment for those with mental illnesses and addiction issues has evolved over the years.
In the late 1960s, Indiana's mental health system began to take shape.
From 1971
to 2021,
Hamilton Center has touched the lives of thousands of people
in central and west central Indiana.
We are committed to the latest therapies
to improve the quality of life for those with mental illnesses.
Treatment works.
Recovery is possible.
And thank you, Indiana.
And we want to thank our sponsor, the Hamilton Center. Manchester with the football. They're going to give it to a different back up the middle, and he's got good yardage. Really nice run up the middle that time.
That was Jalen Love. He's a 5'5 junior out of Avon.
So again, Manchester moves the football. They pick up their first down of the ball game. And they're setting up again. Rose-Hulman in a four-man front. They'll hand it up the middle. No, the quarterback kept it. Nice run by O'Brien. He'll pick up another first down.
Yeah, that's the first misdirection we've seen from Manchester, and it worked pretty well. Rose-Hulman, that's the first time we've seen them on kind of off balance on defense.
So Manchester with another first down. They've moved the football well here. And Manchester with the football at the 46-yard line. They're going to hand it in. Nope, he keeps it again. O'Brien with the run off the edge. He's going to pick up another couple yards. Give it about 4 or 5.
Well, we saw the Spartans mainly trying to go through the air so far before this drive, but they've decided to kind of stick with the ground game. That's a little more what they're comfortable with. At least it has been so far through the season, and it's paying some dividends.
Well, historically, Manchester's been a running offense, and at least under Nate Jensen, and I would assume that they're going to try to continue to run the football and see if they can move things in there. Now, run off the right side will pick up no gain, as, again, number 20 with that carry, running back Jalen Love from Avon with the carry. It's 3rd and 7.
Now they put themselves in another kind of predictable passing down here. So we'll see if Rose keeps the pressure up. They've done a good job so far of really getting on the quarterback on 3rd down.
So a big 3rd down play for Rose-Hulman. Again, Rose-Hulman leads 20-0 here in the first quarter. Rose showing blitz. They bring 6. Throw it off the side. A nice pass outside and another first down for Manchester as Love connects with that football and picks up about 10 yards on the play. It'll be first down for the Manchester Spartans.
Yeah, that was a nice little swing play there. He broke one tackle, and I believe that's first down of the game.
Well, that's the 3rd one in this drive. They've really done a nice job in driving the ball. Love, though, should have been picked up by the outside linebacker who was blitzing. Instead, he kept coming for the quarterback and gave him an opportunity. Inside run, no, O'Brien, again, nice run. Down, he's got the first down. He'll pick up about 14 yards. And Manchester is driving the football and looking good offensively when we saw no life the first 4 series.
Yeah, they're getting good blocking from not only the line, but the receivers are doing a good job opening up the outside.
Just under 4 minutes left to go here in the first period, where the score is 20-0 a Rose-Hulman. 3 receivers to the top of the screen. They're going to look. Pass. They've got another open player, and Love falls down. He had him wide open. He could have picked up 4 or 5, and that little pass would have been about as good as it was on any type of run for them right now.
Impressed with LeVar Leisure on the far side, number 5. He's really been pretty impressive blocking, but, man, he's been open a few times. They're not really looking for him yet, but he was a big weapon for them in the last week.
Now Love takes the ball, and he's nailed for a 2-yard loss. They'll make it a 3-yard loss. He didn't get back. He got to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 13 from the 30. And Manchester, to get back in this ball game, desperately needs to put some points on the board on this drive. And we're just in the first quarter where Rose-Hulman has dominated. 2 interceptions returned. In a couple nice pass plays, they've had opportunities. They've scored 4 times. It's 20-0, 2 field goals and 2 touchdowns. And Rose-Hulman is in the position to put the ball game away early. O'Brien throws a fade down the sideline. It's out of bounds, and that will bring up a 4th down. And don't be surprised if Manchester goes for it here. They're in kind of no man's territory. You don't want to punt. It would be a 47-yard field goal if they try a field goal, and their kicker did not look like he had that range. He was accurate, but in warm-ups, he was good from about 40. So this may be a little bit out of his range, and it is. They're going to go for this one. 4th and 13. If you're going to dial up a play, you're going to have some kind of vertical one-on-one pass route, and it could be here to the bottom of your screen as they have 3 receivers to the left side. He's going to roll. He's got a man open in the corner. Oh, he threw that inside. 2 men potentially, or 1 man potentially wide open. He couldn't get him the ball. Turnover on downs, and Rose-Hulman takes possession.
At Lynn's Pharmacy, we're more than just your pharmacist. We're your neighbors.
Our kids go to the same schools. We eat at the same restaurants. We sit next to you in church.
When I listen to a symptom.
When I fill a prescription.
When I offer advice, I'm not just helping a customer. I'm helping my neighbor and a friend. My name is Lynn Hofstadter, and I'm the proud owner of Lynn's Pharmacy, a modern pharmacy with old-fashioned values and personal service dedicated to keeping you, your family, and our community healthy since 1872.
Here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
Jet again. They're going to pull it to the outside. He gets knocked out of bounds, picked up 2 or 3 yards, and that's really all Rose-Hulman needs on that play. As, again, number 2, and that's Daniel Uri with this one. He'll pick up 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. 1:30 left to go here in the first period. Bunch, they'll throw it. They got a man open. They'll get to Uri on the outside. He breaks a tackle. He'll pick up the 1st down. So Uri dives for that one, picks up that 1st down, and Rose-Hulman is again moving the chains and continuing in this hurry-up spread offense. Looking inside, they'll throw it quick again, and to the outside. Rose-Hulman is using that quick passing series just like they would a run. He's open. He's going to do it. Don't be surprised if they pull up and throw the bomb on this one or throw that little quick fade. One of those receivers will not block. They'll just take off and run past someone.
Yeah, they're drawing the linebackers up a little bit, and it's been working all game for them so far.
2 receivers at the top, 2 to the bottom. They're going to throw and run the jet again. A nice turn up by Uri, and he's going to pick up about a yard on this one, and it'll bring up 3rd and 3.
It was a good stop by Haley Smith, the safety for Manchester. He's a junior out of Indianapolis.
And again, Rose-Hulman having that opportunity to move the football. About 25 seconds left to go here in the first period. Rose-Hulman with a 20-0 lead. They'll fake it to Ruperta. And Robinson up in there, and he's going to get sacked. And that's not what Rose-Hulman needs. They don't need that young man getting beat up any. And he's saying, that's okay, let's go. It's 4th down and 6, and don't be surprised if Rose-Hulman punts this one.
Yeah, big Derek Doss got in there. Another junior out of Indianapolis. He's 5'11", 325. That's a big boy back.
End of the first period of play. Rose-Hulman with a 20-0 lead. We'll return for more on Indiana Sports Network.
At Lynn's Pharmacy, we're more than just your pharmacist. We're your neighbors.
Our kids go to the same schools. We eat at the same restaurants. We sit next to you in church.
When I listen to a symptom.
When I fill a prescription.
When I offer advice, I'm not just helping a customer. I'm helping my neighbor and a friend. My name is Lynn Hofstadter, and I'm the proud owner of Lynn's Pharmacy, a modern pharmacy with old-fashioned values and personal service dedicated to keeping you, your family, and our community healthy since 1872.
Here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
You are watching Rose-Hulman football on the Indiana Sports Network. You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
And welcome back to Rose-Hulman, where the Fighting Engineers are really doing a nice job moving the football, and you have a score as well. What do you have?
Yeah, it's the women's soccer match, which is right next door to us over here. They are up 7-0 about halfway through the second period. They've absolutely put the wood to Earlham so far today.
And punting the ball for Rose-Hulman is Andrew Toller from Bidwell, Ohio. He steps back in this spread punt formation, snaps there. Punt is up and good pressure, but he gets one off down. And here comes Smith in the open field. He'll make a cut, another cut, and he'll go down at about the 32. Manchester with a football when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
Your All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor here for York Automotive. Looking for an All-Pro deal on your next car, truck, or SUV? York is my #1 pick. With over 600 vehicles in stock, York has the largest selection to meet your needs. We're talking new, pre-owned, and commercial vehicles. Take it from one All-Pro to another, York has your best deal.
Shop online at yorkautomotive.com and we'll show you why we're not #1, you are.
We're not #1.
You are.
You're #1 at York.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
And you can't say we don't have flyovers here at Rose-Hulman, as we just had a flock of geese go right down Main Street. And it was kind of nice to see here in this early fall day. But with that, Manchester was flagged for a block in the back on that punt, which brought it all the way back to the 10-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Manchester with their back to their goal line. O'Brien with control of the Manchester offense. Rose with a quick shift. They're going to hand it off inside, and he's going to gain nothing.
Yeah, we saw Manchester able to move the ball pretty well last drive, but they couldn't finish it off. But, boy, they're in a hole to start this one.
And when we look at what's going on today, again, Rose-Hulman with multiple attempts because of turnovers, and Manchester's had those. Rose-Hulman's had 10 first downs in the first half. They've rushed the ball 10 times for 42 yards. They've had 126 yards in the air. Inside run by Love. He'll pick up about 6 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 4. And for Rose-Hulman, Robertson, 10 of 13. Again, 126 yards. For Trevor O'Brien, he's 3 of 8 for 19 yards and 2 interceptions. He has been able to actually run the football, and they've run it off of their inside zone and what's going on. So here it is again. Manchester with a football, 3rd and 4. Looking to pass inside. They've got a screen. They set it up really nicely, and he's held in check short of the first down, or they're going to give it to him. This one says they do. The headlines judge made that call, said it is a first down for Manchester. They reach the 20-yard line. They'll move the chains.
That's important for them to stay on the field a little bit more. Their defense has been put to the test so far, and they've slowed Rose down a little bit, but, boy, they really need to get some points to stay in this ball game.
Manchester with the football. Love inside. He'll pick up about 2 yards. So Manchester trying to control things. It got out of hand for them early in the ball game, and from that point on, they've moved the football well enough to stay in control of this one, but it does look like we have a new quarterback in for Manchester, number 15, and that's Eric James in the ball game. He's 5'11", 160-pound junior from Indianapolis. And more of that passing and then option style, that one-back option style offense, and that's what Manchester's running right now, and they've gone with a different quarterback. James is listed as the backup. He's from Decatur Central High School. Looking to throw the quick one. He gets it out there. Here's Smith down the left sideline, and he gets out of bounds. He'll pick up about 10. Make it a 13-yard gain. The ball rests at the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Manchester.
Yeah, T.J. McCray stuck his hand out there, almost swatted that down, but it ended up being a pretty good gain for the Spartans.
David Smith, the running back from Indianapolis, on that catch and carry. Smith from North Central High School in Indianapolis. He's now the single back, setting back there with number 15. That's Eric James. Inside run by Smith. He'll pick up another 2 yards. They haven't had a chance to really run the inside zone and do very well on Rose-Hulman, where they've made their yardages off the edge, off the fake, and they've done a nice job in faking it, but Rose-Hulman's going to have to make sure they contain the quarterback and running back off the edge if they're going to hold Manchester from scoring. 3 receivers, top of your screen. They're going to hand it off to Smith on the ISO inside. He'll plug away and pick up another 3 yards. It gets it up over the 40-yard line.
Yeah, to go back to what you were saying, Rose-Hulman's got 7 guys in the box. There's really not been any threat of a deep ball from Manchester so far, other than the one long third down play. But Rose-Hulman doing a good job. They're, like you said, though, watch the edges. That's where they could get burnt.
Well, when you get your first 2 throws picked, it makes you not want to throw the football a lot. And although they've changed quarterbacks, that opportunity still exists, and Rose-Hulman has a very good secondary compared to what some of the other teams in the league do. Roberts on the blitz, doesn't get there. They throw the quick out over the top. Incomplete pass. It'll bring up, again, another opportunity in 4th down for Manchester, and they should bring the punting unit out. They have not reached the 50, and here comes the punting unit. So IU and Michigan are tied 10-10 at halftime. That's one of the scores we were just given in my ear on this one. And good football day for everybody here in the state of Indiana. Gorgeous day, 60 degrees, not a lot of wind, just enough breeze to make things fun. Punts off and picked up and over to the left side, and now here he goes down that left sideline with a convoy. He could bring this one all the way back. It is Yuri down inside, and he doesn't get there. That's Hobbs on the return. And Hobbs with a great return down to the 20-yard line. Very short field. Here's the problem. There's a flag on the field. Rose-Hulman will have the football in return, and they'll have it at the 23-yard line.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
So at the 23-yard line, Rose-Hulman will have it. A block in the back brought it all the way back. And those are the expensive ones. If you get somebody behind that one, though, happened right in front of the official, right in front of where Hobbs was. And so when that flag hit the ground, you could just immediately tell what was going to be a block in the back. And that block probably sprung him on the long run to start with. Robertson with the troops, gathering them up at the 23. Play action pass. He's going deep. Went post corner. Wide shot. Great throw and catch. And Hobbs with that catch goes out of bounds at the 45. That's a huge timing play, and Rose-Hulman on the move.
Yeah, that was a great move by Hobbs. He got Yandel Victoriano just headed towards midfield, turned around, ran to the outside, got a nice big gain on that one.
Ruperta takes the counter up the middle. He'll go for about 5 yards, and a really nice set of blocks, that time sprung by the offensive line as well as the H-back in Alex Gresscock, who went right up the middle and opened it up just like a snowplow. 3 receivers to the top. Gresscock is your tight end. Ruperta in the backfield. Circles out, got a man down the middle. Nice curl and a good catch. Hobbs just barely brought that one in as he kind of fumbled the ball. That's one of those coaches are like, why did you not catch that one without fumbling? It was a beautiful pass. He just had a hard time bringing it in.
You could tell Hobbs' speed is Got in Manchester's heads as they're playing pretty far off of him.
Quick screen out to the edge, and here goes the lightning in a bottle, and he makes 3 guys miss, 4. He's still going down to the 20-yard line, and Daniel Hury is making a highlight film out of this game. Huge play and a first down for Rose-Hulman.
Yeah, Hury's one of those guys you've got to wrap up. You can't just go with this guy's upper body because he just spins and twists out of it almost every time.
3 receivers to the top of your screen. Hury and Hobbs out to the right. They'll give it to Ripert up the middle on the counter play again. They wrap it up in there. And again, Gresscock with the block, key block up the middle. The linemen are doing a nice job in opening a seam. And with that lead and ISO, man, they're really going after him here on the inside. 3 receivers in a bunch to the bottom of your screen. Robertson, pump fake, there's a deep one, and it is a touchdown, Rose-Hulman. They fake the screen, hit it right up the middle, and a touchdown for Gresscock as he takes that one in. Alex on the reception. He's from Harvard de Grace, Maryland, a senior, 6'1", 220. He scores, and Rose-Hulman goes up 26-0 here in the second period.
Yeah, finally getting the tight end involved a little bit. We're getting everybody in on the party today. 26-0 already.
Very nice play. Good play call. You could see him setting it up, or at least I can, up here. And just a really nice job by the offensive coordinator for Rose-Hulman and getting that one in. Kick is up. Reber gets that one up and in, and he's perfect on the day. And 27-0's our score when we return for more action on Indiana Sports Network.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
27-0, Rose-Hulman, and they've gotten a lot of people into action. Where they're really gaining their advantage right now are the speed guys, Daniel Hury, and if you're looking at Jalen Hobbs, they've used them quite well. Frick and frack, if you want to say. You just turn one loose and the other one gets loose the next play, and it's just back and forth. And then a really nice job in creating gaps up the middle. Ruperta's run strong. He's picked up yardage and moved the chains and keeps Manchester off balance by the running attack up the middle. Connor Whitesell will pound this one, gets it deep down to the goal line. He'll take it out. And Smith gets nailed about the 24-yard line. That's where Manchester will have it when we return for more football.
So what do we do before we cross the street?
We look both ways for cars.
No cars. All right, let's go.
But Daddy, why do you have to hold my hand?
To keep you safe. That's why we look for cars. I'm watching out for danger to keep you safe.
Daddy, who watches out for you?
Protect your family and loved ones with Micah Bonomo.
Manchester with a football. 1st and 10 at the 25. They're going to hand it off to Smith. Inside, he'll pick up about 3 yards this time. And a nice run. Again, the quarterback on this series is still Eric James, the junior from Indianapolis. And that's, again, running back is David Smith from Indianapolis. And Manchester with a football now, 2nd and 7. Running it. No, they're going to throw it outside. And a little quick toss, and he'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Pass was completed to number 8, and that is the tight end Peyton Fry, 5'8", from Indianapolis.
Kaiser Bowen showing off his speed as he tracks him down on that one. Makes a nice open field tackle.
3rd and 4. Again, Manchester needs to put points on the board here before the half. It's 27-0. Blitz up the middle. They've got him. He throws. That's a lateral. It's going to go backwards. That ball went out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. And are they going to mark it there? They are.
Boy, that's a mental mistake. Oof.
That's right there. And the white hat is the umpire is, I'm sorry, that's what you just, football coach said, hey, what's a white hat calling there? But he's the guy that's in charge of the whole thing, and that pass was a backwards pass, and you can't have a lateral. It's asked to go backwards, and the referee calls that one out at the 15-yard line. He said he threw it backwards, and with that, the ball's going to go out of bounds, placed at the 15-yard line, and now you're going to punt the ball with your punter standing at or near the goal line.
They don't have the strongest punter. It's Matthew Mason, who's just averaging about 25 yards per punt.
Hobbs back at the 40. He gets a good one on this one. Picks it up to the 47. Has a chance to run. Goes outside. He's got the speed, and he's got people in front of him. Can he move? Make that cut. He's going to go down the left sideline. He's still going inside the 15. He's out of bounds at the 11. And Rose-Hulman again scoring position. And no flags on this one. It'll be Rose-Hulman football, 1st and 10. They're going to put it at the 11-yard line. No, they're going to say it's a 10. It'll be 1st and goal. 1st and goal, Rose-Hulman will keep it here on this one. 7:03 left to go here in the second period, and another big play for the Fighting Engineers.
Boy, you always get a little tense when you see the guy take a few steps backwards, but boy, he knew what he was doing as everything opened up on the left side.
That's speed. Speed kills in a game of football. You don't have to be big. You don't have to be physical. If you are fast, you can do a lot of damage. Inside, they're going to hand it off in a broken tackle, an inside run. Doing it on his own that time for Rose-Hulman is Lance Shelton, the senior from Kansas City, Missouri, on his first carry of the day. He gets it down to the 8-yard line. He broke a tackle in the backfield. Nice play by Lance. Rose-Hulman with the football. 6:40 left to go in the second period. And they almost got him off sides. Actually, they probably did, and the ball wasn't snapped or no one moved. 2nd and goal from the 8. Looking, speed option. He'll pitch it out. Here goes Lays down the left sideline. Touchdown, Rose-Hulman. Really nice play call, man-to-man defense, and Sheldon walks it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Boy, everything Rose touches today turns to gold. Just complete domination in the first half. On the ground, through the air. Manchester has had no answer for the Engineers.
33-0 is the score right now. Rehberg out to attempt the extra point to put more points on the board for the Engineers. And they've really not made those crucial mistakes that they made in weeks 1, 2, and 3. The mistakes aren't happening. They're not pushing it super hard. They're just doing what they need to do and very efficient. Rehberg efficient as well. It's 34-0. Rose-Hulman with the lead when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
There is a greatness inside of you, a passion, a strength, a determination. So embrace it. Embrace the greatness that you bring to everything you do. Embrace the idea that you can do work that makes an impact, work that keeps the country moving forward and our economy strong. Because not everyone has what you have, and that's exactly what connects you to all of us at Great Dane. There's greatness inside of you. Are you ready to embrace it?
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
And welcome back again. Whitesell will kick it off after another score by Rose-Hulman. It's 34-0 here with about 6:23 left to go in the second period. We want to thank our sponsors for today's game: the Indiana Army National Guard, Culver's, Farm Bureau Insurance, and their local agent, Micah Bonomo, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Great Dane, the Hamilton Center, Lynn's Pharmacy, Riddell National Bank, and York Automotive. Transportation for Indiana Sports Network is provided by York Automotive with 5 locations in Brazil, Greencastle, Crawfordsville, and Plainfield. Whitesell pounds this one into the end zone. It'll be out on the 25 when we return for more action on Indiana Sports Network.
It could be anyone. The star student, the all-state athlete. I never thought it could happen to me, that I could lose everything. I found help, I found hope, I found recovery. I regained something lost.
This game is presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
1st and 10 for Manchester. The ball located. They'll give him at the 25-yard line. And again, the Spartans need to push the football into the end zone. Rose-Hulman has been very stingy defensively. Smith with the football. He'll get a decent run. No, they'll stop him. 3-yard gain. Had a hole, and immediately somebody got hold of that leg and stopped him. And the defense, although missing a couple players from what they thought they would have at the start of the year with season-ending injuries, has been very stout today. They've consistently tackled well up front and covered well in the secondary. They just have been, there have been no places for Manchester to do anything. Inside run, they'll give it to Smith. He pounds it up in there. He'll pick up the first down. Good run for the Spartans. And they'll get the ball up to the 37.
Yeah, Manchester's found a little bit of success on the ground, but boy, without an aerial assault here in the second half, they're not going to have much hope. But boy, if you're them, you just want to put something on the board here.
They've got an H-back, Sniffer in the backfield. They're going to run motion across, power inside. No, the quarterback kept it. He'll run it outside, and he'll get wrapped up. Gain of 1. And again, carrying the football, number 16 for Manchester. Actually, it's number 15, I'm sorry. And that's Eric James.
Manchester only averaging about 2.5 yards per rush. So things have been pretty tight in the middle.
James has been 3 for 4 passing the football, but he's been more of the runner. Fading back, has an opportunity, throws it down the middle, and it is caught. That's a nice catch, and a good play that time by number 5, and that's LeVar Lejeune from Mableton, Georgia. Nice catch down the middle on that dig route as he got it down in about 15, 17 yards down, and Manchester with a first down, and they've crossed the 50-yard line. Ball to 39. Goes to pass, doesn't have anything. Throws it down, he had a man open. Does he catch it? No, they're going to say hit the ground first. Again, Lejeune was that intended receiver, and James just couldn't pull the trigger quick enough to get it in and ultimately threw it low.
Yeah, Lejeune on the season, 12 receptions coming into today, 3 touchdowns. But, yeah, that was the biggest pass so far of the day for Manchester.
And if I'm looking on the sideline, and I may not be looking correctly, but there is an injured Manchester player. He's got a hand injury. Let's hope it's not O'Brien. I can't really see numbers on the sideline for Manchester. Hopefully it's not their first quarterback. Quarterback draw up the middle, and he's not going to go very far. They'll give him 2 yards on it. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
As you mentioned early on, O'Brien's first 2 pass attempts picked off. That pretty much set the tone for this first half, and Rose has been on the attack ever since.
Make it 3rd and 8, and Manchester desperately needing a first down. It's 34-0, Rose-Hulman with the lead. Control of the football game, control of the line of scrimmage. And the Fighting Engineers are playing good football today. They'll bring the house. They've got a man open and nothing. Could not get it. Again, attempted for Lejeune, who has 2 receptions for 31 yards on the day. Wasn't able to get the ball to him that time. It'll bring up 4th down.
I threw that one pretty quick. Lejeune wasn't really turned yet and threw it a little bit behind him, but they are going to go for it here.
And I don't blame him. 3:31 left to go here in the first half. And out comes another receiver. This into the ball game, tight end Justin Albagom, a junior from Chicago, Illinois. So they bring a tight end. They've got a wing. Rose showing blitz. They bring it. Play action. They'll throw a quick slant. Got a man. Did he hit him early? They're going to say he did. Went through his back. Just hit him too early. That'll be a first down off of the pass interference call.
Manchester hasn't caught many breaks today, but Rose getting just a little anxious on that one. Climbed over his back before the ball arrived, and this drive will keep moving.
Just a little bit too early on that one. It'll be first down when the chains are reset after the 15-yard penalty, and Manchester will have the ball first and 10, close to that 20-yard line. We'll say it's at the 22, and the Spartans have a chance to score here towards the end of the second quarter. Again, for Rose-Hulman, they want to keep them out. Manchester desperately needs to score so they get a little bit of momentum going into the second half and play this one out hard. Inside run by Smith. He'll pound it up in. He'll pick up another 2 yards. And they really have not been able to run the zone very well. They just don't have the physical strength to do anything. Rose-Hulman's done a nice job in penetration up front. They brought multiple people. And Rose-Hulman's played defensively very well and very stout on the inside.
Yeah, Justin Sands has been tough in there. The whole line's been playing really well all game.
Inside run again, and they're going to go nowhere. They'll lose a half a yard or a yard. You see the sticks moving back on that one. So that'll bring third down and 9.
They've constantly kept Manchester in these third and long situations, very uncomfortable situations for the Spartans.
The different running back into the ball game was number 25, and that's Cameron Hovey, sophomore from Sheridan, Indiana. Had a chance to, and it's Hovey is his name. Ooh, pass out to the outside, and Hovey can't hold on to it, and it'll bring up fourth down. Had the opportunity to coach against Hovey when he was in high school. Very good running back, very stout young man. I mean, he's a tough guy. Small school football power in Indiana, Sheridan. That's where he went to school. And if you didn't know, Bud Wright is their head coach, the winningest football coach in the state of Indiana, and one of the top 3 in the country. Fourth down and 9. Ball rests just at the 21-yard line. So Manchester will go for another fourth down. Last time they got bailed out on a pass interference. They got a man open and a touchdown. Touchdown. That's where they're going to give it to him. They say it was equal battle for the ball. And the score will go for Manchester on a very nice throw. 2 guys battling for the football, and Manchester came up with it. 34-6 now is our score with 2:08 left to go in the second period.
And now we've got a flag just thrown after the play.
And that will be more than likely unsportsmanlike. It is against Rose-Hulman. Somebody said something after the throw and picks up the 15-yard penalty. And more than likely they'll put it on the kickoff as they can take that one over. So it is an unsportsmanlike penalty called on Rose-Hulman. And we'll see if he does. Yep, he says he's going to put it on the kickoff. So that means Manchester may go for that onside kick at this point, depending on where they're going to kick it from.
It's Tice Miller. He wasn't very happy. Thought the wide receiver had pushed off.
And they were both pushing each other. So, yeah, that's one of those. Oh, almost blocked it. Really close on that one, but he does get the kick through, and it's 34-7 when we return for more action on Indiana Sports Network.
So what do we do before we cross the street?
We look both ways for cars.
No cars. All right, let's go.
But Daddy, why do you have to hold my hand?
To keep you safe. That's why we look for cars. I'm watching out for danger to keep you safe.
Daddy, who watches out for you?
Protect your family and loved ones with Micah Bonomo.
So Rose-Hulman will receive a kickoff that is being lined up at the 50-yard line. And so that one happens because of that unsportsmanlike penalty on Rose-Hulman. And if you're doing that, you really don't want to keep chirping at an official and continue to say something. And somebody from Rose-Hulman did, and that will cost him 15. And also, do you really want to kick this one deep? You're down 34-7, or do you want to go for the onside and see if you can do something with it? And that's going to be the issue for Manchester, as we'll see what they decide to do on this one. Mason, this is Beachy with the kickoff. He pooch kicks it. Gets it down inside and down to the 15-yard line, and a return will get it out to the 20, and that's where Rose-Hulman will have it when we return for more on Indiana Sports Network.
The city of Brazil was founded in 1866. By 1876, there were 2 schools, 7 dry goods stores, 2 hardware stores, 4 churches, and 5 drugstores. One of those drugstores is still there today, Lynn's Pharmacy. Lynn's Pharmacy has grown from a small neighborhood drugstore to a modern pharmacy, offering prescriptions and medical equipment with old-fashioned values and unparalleled service. You can even step back in time and visit Lynn's Soda Parlor
here at Lynn's Pharmacy.
Run on the outside for Rose-Hulman, and into the ball game is number 1, and that is freshman running back Jay Smith from Evansville, Indiana. He'll pick up some yardage as he sets right beside Robertson. He'll throw the quick screen to the outside, makes one cut, makes another cut, and he's on down the sideline and just barely pushing him out of bounds at the 41-yard line. They're going to say he's out of bounds at the 39. It'll be 1st and 10 Rose-Hulman, and that 2-minute offense is in gear. 1:39 left to go in the first half. And Rose-Hulman will try to operate out of the 2-minute style offense very quickly. They're going to hand the ball off up the middle, and a big run for a first down. That'll stop the clock while they move the chains. And again, another solid run on the inside by Jay Smith, the freshman from Evansville.
Got to think for Manchester it's important to hold here. They finally got themselves a score, got on the board, and now they're letting Rose go right back down the field.
Clock's running, 1:22. They're going to hand it to Smith again. Down on the inside, he makes the cut, and he's down with about a 5-yard gain. And don't be surprised if we have a timeout here pretty quick here. 1:12 left to go. Jay Smith again on the carry, and timeout's been called. We'll take one as well. You're watching Rose-Hulman football on the Indiana Sports Network.
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
Your all-pro running back Jonathan Taylor here for York Automotive. Looking for an all-pro deal on your next car, truck, or SUV? York is my #1 pick. With over 600 vehicles in stock, York has the largest selection to meet your needs. We're talking new, pre-owned, and commercial vehicles. Take it from one all-pro to another, York has your best deal.
Shop online at yorkautomotive.com, and we'll show you why we're not #1, you are.
We're not #1.
You are.
You're #1 at York.
You are watching Rose-Hulman football on the Indiana Sports Network.
And Rose-Hulman takes the timeout, operating in that 2-minute style offense. 1:12 left to go in the first half. And Troy, you really have seen the Rose-Hulman Fighting Engineers offensively and defensively at probably their best of the year.
Yeah, they've looked excellent all day. I mean, a quick start on offense, a real fast tempo they had going, and they're keeping it up right now, trying to get another score before halftime.
Robertson throws the ball. Its pass is incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down.
Markel Jackson wasn't so sure he didn't get there early, but he knocked it away well.
3rd and 5 for Rose-Hulman. 2 receivers top, 2 receivers at the bottom. Here it comes. Looking inside, they've got him. Nice pass. Ty Salou with the first down, and Rose-Hulman's going to stop the clock while they move the chains. 1:02. Now the time is pretty solid for them with a minute left to go. Ball resting at the 29. And a player's down and injured, and that's not what either team that's not what Manchester wanted to see. And with that, people will rotate over. An injury timeout will take one as well.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
Josu Castro from Hialeah, Florida is the injured player. Walks off a little gingerly. Let's hope he can return back to action shortly. Rose-Hulman, play action. Robertson has a man, picks it up on the side to Smith, makes a cut, makes a man miss, makes another man miss. He's short. It'll be 2nd and 5. Nice effort. He moved very quickly. 40 seconds left to go in the second half. Timeout's been called by Rose-Hulman. We'll take one as well. You're watching Indiana Sports Network.
So what do we do before we cross the street?
We look both ways for cars.
No cars. All right, let's go.
But Daddy, why do you have to hold my hand?
To keep you safe. That's why we look for cars. I'm watching out for danger to keep you safe.
Daddy, who watches out for you?
Protect your family and loved ones with Micah Bonomo.
So the second timeout's been called by Rose-Hulman. They have one more left in this one, and they'll probably want to save it. 40 seconds left to go in the second period. They're on a 2-minute drive, or 2-minute style drive. They got the ball just a little under 2 minutes to go. They marched the ball from about the 30-yard line all the way down to the 24-yard line. So they're in scoring position. They can kick a field goal at this point. They don't want to turn it over. 3 receivers to the right side. They're going to run the rollout. They've got a man open in the flat. He's open and picked it up, ran out of bounds. It should be a first down, and it is. More importantly, it stops the clock. 36 seconds left to go. The ball at the 18-yard line for the Fighting Engineers.
Boy, Robertson's been impressive today. 18 for 22, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. This guy only averages 200 yards a game. He's having a heck of a day.
Well, and that 200-yard average came against some really good teams,
Yeah.
so he can do a lot more. Play action. He'll throw the little quick screen out the edge and down the sideline and out of bounds. Again, picking up 4 or 5 yards, and 30 seconds left to go, so they've moved the football and not used the clock. Nice pass on the outside, gave it up to Daniel Hury. Again, don't be surprised if they do the play action pass at this point and hit somebody in the end zone. 3 receivers, top of your screen. Looking, drop, kicks it back up. Smith down the left sideline, and he is he in? They say he's short. He's short. He went out of bounds. They're going to say he's out of bounds at the 2. Fans thought he scored.
Boy, the speed of Rose-Hulman today has been really impressive. Not only Hury, but now you got Smith in there and also Hobbs. I mean, these guys just tracksters out there.
Well, the first 2 you mentioned are track stars.
Well, there you go.
They can really run, and they're on the track team. Roll right, got a man in the flat, wide open, and touchdown. Rose-Hulman gives it up again. Daniel Hury. They bring him all the way across and run him out there, and there is nobody on him.
Hury's second receiving touchdown of the day. That puts him right at about 100 yards receiving. So a big day for him as well as Rose-Hulman.
Well, they're saying it was the board says it was Ty Salou.
Oh, I thought it was Hury.
And it's Hury. They just had Ty Salou on the board. And when I say on the board, there's the giant jumbotron that we have here in Rose-Hulman, third largest in Division III. And the kick is up by Rehberg. It's good. And Rose-Hulman takes, again, a 41-7 lead and getting close to halftime. 20 seconds left to go. And we'll come back for more on Indiana Sports Network.
At Great Dane, we are proud to invest in our people and the communities we call home. We are hiring now for trailer assemblers and welders across the country. We need the makers, people who are ready to make a difference. We need you. Build something bigger for yourself and your family with great health benefits, advancement opportunities, 401k, pension, and more. Apply today at greatdane.com/careers.
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
So with 20 seconds left to go in the first half, Rose-Hulman executes a 2-minute drive all the way down the field. When I say this, very few mistakes. The only real mistake Rose-Hulman made was on the last touchdown by Manchester, where they had an unsportsmanlike because somebody was jawing at the official and didn't like a call, and they got flagged for 15. But beyond that, you can look at this consistency offensively and defensively for Rose-Hulman. They've just been dominant this afternoon.
Yeah, they've really tightened things up. It's been a complete package today as we got a squib kick.
Really nice job. That'll stop the clock there with 19 seconds left to go in the first half. We'll keep this one here. Rose-Hulman, again, playing very solid football in the first half. We want to thank our presenting sponsor, Indiana Army National Guard, who really has come alongside and do things. And we also saw the ROTC group from Rose-Hulman being sworn in here, as is tradition at homecoming. And so we saw that ceremony before the ball game. We'll see some halftime festivities online here at halftime, dealing with homecoming and the presentation of the court and the queen and all those kinds of things. But again, we want to thank our sponsors, Culver's, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Micah Bonomo, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Great Dane, Hamilton Center, Lynn's Pharmacy, and Riddell National Bank. Manchester moves it up in there. Smith with a great carry, best one of the first half. He'll pick up 15 yards, make it 16 yards, and 9 seconds left to go. The chains will move, and Manchester will have one last shot to stick the ball, and they'll call timeout to do it. Manchester with the timeout, and we'll take one as well. It's 41-7, Rose-Hulman.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
So Rose-Hulman with a 41-7 lead, but Manchester has 9 seconds. The ball rests just at the 49-yard line, as they're going to try to take a shot on this one. Rose-Hulman backs up in more of a prevent style defense. And they're going to let it fly. They pull it clear out there. It's an incomplete pass. 5 seconds left to go in the half with that ball incomplete, intended for Manchester's number 19. That's Clayton Shekels, the wide receiver from Leavenworth, Indiana.
Real quick, we would like to tell everybody that the Lady Engineers did win their soccer match today over Earlham 7-0. So a pretty dominant win there. They remain undefeated in the HCAC.
It's one of the things about Rose-Hulman athletics. They're competitive in everything. And when you said track earlier, they're the dominant track force in the conference. Max protection. They're going to let it crank. He's got a deep one down the sideline, and it's incomplete, and that will be the end of the first half. So Rose-Hulman will go in at halftime leading 41-7 over the Manchester Spartans here at homecoming for Rose-Hulman. And with that, the activities at halftime will include some of those homecoming festivities. And we'll pause for a break and be right back with some of those. You're watching Rose-Hulman football on Indiana Sports Network.
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
At Lynn's Pharmacy, we're more than just your pharmacist. We're your neighbors.
Our kids go to the same schools. We eat at the same restaurants.
We sit next to you in church.
When I listen to a symptom.
When I fill a prescription.
When I offer advice, I'm not just helping a customer. I'm helping my neighbor and a friend. My name is Lynn Hofstetter, and I'm the proud owner of Lynn's Pharmacy, a modern pharmacy with old-fashioned values and personal service dedicated to keeping you, your family, and our community healthy since 1872.
Here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
You are watching Rose-Hulman football on the Indiana Sports Network.
It's time for the halftime report on the Indiana Sports Network.
And welcome back to halftime at Rose-Hulman. 41-7 is our score. And when you look at both of these teams and just what's going on, unbelievable amount of offense and defensive prowess by Rose-Hulman in this ballgame. They've just dominated almost everything. And again, you're going to see on your screen when some of this stuff's going on, the dance team's going out. And with that, they'll have a chance to do their routine, and you'll get to hear us and watch them. That's probably a lot better than watching us at the same time you're hearing us, too. But Rose-Hulman has just been dominant offensively, 248 yards passing, 84%. He's 21 of 25, and Robertson has just been on fire for Rose-Hulman, and he has been all year. He's been very precise in what he does, and you can see that just in how he handles himself. Miguel Robertson is a junior, 6'3", 190 pounds from Petaluma, California, and he's had a great ball game here in the first half. 3 touchdowns, a long throw of 30 yards. He's been sacked one time, but he's just been on fire. Receiving for Rose-Hulman, Yuri with 9 receptions for 97 yards. Hobbs, 3 receptions for 44. Tice Salou, 3 receptions for 44. Ruperta, 2 receptions for 26. Greskok, 2 receptions for 19 yards and a touchdown. And Smith had 2 receptions out of the backfield for 18 yards. Rushing, Ruperta with 35 yards. Smith, 23 yards. Hobbs, 16 yards. Shelton with 10. And Yuri with 5. Robertson was sacked. He lost 3 yards on that sack. Defensively for Rose-Hulman, Bowen has 7 total tackles. So, Chaikau So has 6 tackles. Roberts with 6 tackles, including 1 tackle for loss and a sack, and he'll pick up 21 yards on that tackle for loss. So big play opportunities for the defense as well, but more importantly, it's the pass defense, the interceptions. Miller with a pick and Brown with a pick for Rose-Hulman, and the 1 pick by Miller was returned for 46 yards to set up one of the other touchdowns. Rose-Hulman would have a lot more yardage, but they've faced very short fields in what's going on. And if you look at Manchester offensively, it's the tale of basically 2 different teams, one that's in the lead and one that's not. And James completed 5 of 11 for 45%, 62 yards. He has 1 touchdown. He's been sacked 1 time. He has done a nice job. His quarterback rating is very high, where O'Brien has one of the lowest quarterback ratings I've seen. He's 3 for 8 passing the ball, 2 interceptions, only 19 yards of offense. And receiving-wise, Lejeune with 2 for 31 yards, Powell with 1 for 21. They just don't have the stats combined to be in the ball game right now. And rushing the ball, Smith with 37 yards, O'Brien with 29, Love with 15. So they're just not able to move the ball against a very stingy Rose-Hulman defense.
No, they're not at all. And like you said, Rose-Hulman came out and just hit Manchester in the mouth right away. I mean, picking off the first two passes from O'Brien and, the one a long return. I think, as you mentioned, 150 total yards. They'd already scored 3 times in the ball game. So a very impressive first half by the Engineers. And we'll look for more in the second half. You think they'll probably slow it down, maybe get some other guys into the ball game?
Well, I don't think it'll be slowed down, but I think they'll get somebody else in the ball game. Indiana State, by the way, is leading North Dakota State at halftime, and North Dakota State is the number 1 team in the country in FCS football, which is the old NCAA Division I AA. FCS, the championship style football where they have an actual playoff. So that's a huge thing for this area, and watching Indiana State have that one as well. And we'll come back after we take a short break. We'll talk about some of the other teams in the HCAC and other games that are going on around our conference that will have a direct impact on Rose-Hulman and what their chances are and who's doing what kind of things. But again, Indiana State with the lead, that's a shocker if you're talking about football in this area. If they could hold on and pick up that win, that would be a huge win for the Sycamores. Again, you're watching Rose-Hulman football on Indiana Sports Network.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes has the mission of leading every coach and every athlete into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ and His church. Through camps and huddles, character coaches, and special events, we are making an impact in West Central Indiana. Check out where you can get involved at our website, wcindianafca.org. FCA, we are the heart and soul in sports.
Treatment for those with mental illnesses and addiction issues has evolved over the years.
In the late 1960s, Indiana's mental health system began to take shape. From 1971
to 2021,
Hamilton Center has touched the lives of thousands of people in Central and West Central Indiana.
We are committed to the latest therapies
to improve the quality of life for those with mental illnesses.
Treatment works.
Recovery is possible.
And thank you, Indiana.
This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.
If somebody's kind of on the fence of going into a recruiting office or just reaching out to a recruiter, I would absolutely encourage it, if anything, just for the information.
We have a lot of enlistment bonuses out there right now, upwards to about $20,000. If you're in college or you plan to be to college, this is a great choice for you, because our organization, we look for students who want to go to college. We also have educational benefits where we pay up to 100% of tuition.
I ran out of my pain meds too quickly.
I took more and more to get through my day.
I did anything to get them.
I needed help. I needed hope. I found them both.
Professional, safe, no wait times, quality treatment. Regain something lost. Call or go to winrecovery.org.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard. You're watching the Indiana Sports Network.
Well, Troy, as fast as you've seen one go, this is probably the fastest ball game you've had to been involved with.
Yeah, it's been a quick one. I'll tell you what, the way Rose started was really impressive. The speed on offense today, a little more than I expected anyway. You've seen them a little bit more than me, but they're going to be tough to beat in the HCAC this year. There's a reason they were picked at the top preseason.
Well, and with that opportunity, Rose-Hulman just continues to move the football. They've gotten about whatever they wanted to offensively. They made a couple mistakes in a couple of early drives, which led to a 10-0 lead on when they had to kick the field goal to put 10 points on the board and to put 20 points on the board. They made a couple mistakes on those drives. They weren't big ones. They were small mistakes, and they were still within scoring position for the field goal team. So they got points out of it, which really, if you look at it later on down the field, is going to help them because they're able to continue to have positive goals as far as kicking. Reberg kicks the ball very accurately. I'd like to see him get a chance from a little bit more distance just to see what he can do. And again, coaches know what their guy can do, and as you're watching him warm up, he's just pounding the ball. 40 yards is no difficulty for him, so he could go probably 45 and be real consistent with what he's doing. But again, that snap and hold are a big deal, and you don't want to get one blocked at that point and have an issue. But, I think you can put a ball game on his shoulders right now. I think he's doing a great job kicking. And when you take that into consideration, that means your special teams are playing well, which we've seen big returns from the punting return unit. You've also seen just a really nice job on the kickoffs. They had one where they let Smith get the ball out to the 42 for Manchester. But other than that, they've contained the kickoff team for Manchester with the multiple opportunities they've had to return. It's just been a real well-rounded ball game for Rose-Hulman this afternoon.
Yeah, it really has. Every facet of the game they've held strong. And, if you're Manchester, you're coming out, try to make this thing respectable. Try to put some points on the board. Rose-Hulman, just keep doing what you're doing. Like you said, they may not slow down a ton. I think we'll see some different faces in the ball game here on homecoming day. But, it's been a pretty fun day so far here on the campus of Rose-Hulman. The women's soccer win, the men tearing it up here on the football field, and men's soccer getting ready to kick off. And once again, volleyball tonight. We'll have that right here on the Sports Network.
When you're talking about that one, I know you'll have a good time doing volleyball, and with my with my hectic schedule as well, it just seems like these Saturdays, not only are they fun to do, but time consuming as well. We're just having a great time, and again, you get to see all the Rose-Hulman sports on Indiana Sports Network. We try to do a lot of those as Rose-Hulman is one of our partners in what we're doing, and again, Rose-Hulman is just a great place to be, the #1 ranked engineering program in the country. They do a great job with what's going on, as well as we see some of our sponsors doing a good job. York Automotive is our transportation sponsor for Indiana Sports Network. They have locations in 5 different places in Indiana, in Brazil, Greencastle, Crawfordsville, and Plainfield. Our camera operators for this afternoon's game are Kanan Harper and Grant Hainig. Our video technician is Keith Lawson. We're produced and directed by Tony Harper, and we're real excited to do Rose-Hulman athletics, and we do those on a consistent basis. And with that, we're going to pause, take another break here at halftime. You're watching Indiana Sports Network.
Gen Z is a stall generation. The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
So what do we do before we cross the street?
We look both ways for cars.
No cars. All right, let's go.
But Daddy, why do you have to hold my hand?
To keep you safe. That's why we look for cars. I'm watching out for danger to keep you safe.
Daddy, He watches out for you.
Protect your family and loved ones with Micah Bonomo.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
And welcome back to Terre Haute. It's halftime, 41-7. Purdue ends up winning a ball game this afternoon in a very close one over Maryland. Again, we're trying to pass on some of the scores we get to us in what's happening. Just a few minutes left to go here in halftime, and again, Rose-Hulman with an outstanding play. North Dakota State has taken a lead over Indiana State, and a very short one. Again, Indiana State holding on to this one. That's a huge job for them. And I can't tell you, yesterday we were driving down the road to the ball game we played in last night, and on the way there, the North Dakota State, they have a huge semi they take to each ball game, and it was in the other lane going the wrong way. So I didn't know if they were going to Indiana State, if they'd even show up today, and that's kind of what's happened. I could put that out. That would be a really good meme. You know what I'm talking about? Like, hey, you don't even know where to get to Indiana State, and obviously you didn't play very well, so that may have been the trucker's fault in the process. But at least Indiana State showing what's going on, and you really can't blame Rose-Hulman. They've just been going at it this afternoon, really doing a nice job in both offense and defense, and what they're trying to accomplish on the field. They've done a great job of it this afternoon.
They have, and you mentioned something a little while ago about how strong all of the athletics here are at Rose-Hulman, and I think a lot of that comes down to the coaches of each team, and of course Rose-Hulman's coach, Jeff Sokol, he's in his 12th season with Rose. Obviously, the four-time HCAC Coach of the Year, 13-16, and then the past 2 seasons, 3 HCAC championships, and 71-36 record here at Rose, including 63-20 in Heartland Conference competition. I mean, he's been pretty dominant since he showed up on the scene here in Terre Haute. And obviously he's had Manchester's number along with that. But he has a master's degree from Defiance. And then the head coach of Manchester, Nate Jensen, was a 3-year starter for Defiance's football team. So it all ties back to the Heartland Conference, I guess.
Yeah, these guys all kind of go. The KZoo stuff is interesting for Coach Sokol as well. The MIAA and the HCAC have played football games back and forth this year, and it's funny that both of the coaches today have roots planted in both of those conferences. Both Coach Sokol at KZoo, and then you talk about Coach Jensen being up at Alma, and I was talking to one of the other coaches from Manchester before the ball game today, and yeah, he has those same exact connections. He's at Manchester, he'd been at Defiance, he's been at Earlham when Earlham had a program for a year. He's friends with Coach Jensen, Coach Sokol have backgrounds. I mean, all these guys tend to do it, and it happens in all areas of football in what's taking place in all of these. And when we look at it, again, good football in the conference. The conference really didn't win very many games outside the actual conference, but at the same time, very competitive with all the schools in the HCAC. We'll pause for a moment. We'll be right back with the start of the second half. You're watching Indiana Sports Network. All right, so again, getting ready on this one. Not too long before we get started on it, and Rose-Hulman will have that opportunity. They took the opening drive, and again, we'll see what's happening. Manchester will have the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, Rose-Hulman got the ball to start with, scored within the first minute of the game, immediately intercepted Manchester, took that down for another field goal, and then another interception led to the second Rose touchdown. So it was 17-0 in the blink of an eye in this thing, and took the wind out of Manchester's sails, you think, and they've had a hard time fighting back. Rose-Hulman up-tempo on offense the entire game. Really, Manchester not much of an option for it, and we'll see what happens here in the second half. Beautiful day here in Terre Haute, and it's been fun calling it with you so far.
Well, and when we look at it, even more fun calling it is when the Chick-fil-A is delivered by the cameraman. He just looks at us and goes, hey, here you go. So, and that's one of the things about Rose-Hulman. At homecoming, there is food everywhere. And when I say that, a lot of times we get them here in the press box, but if you look at all the tents that were down there, did you walk through the tent city?
Yep.
Okay, so tons of stuff going on. I think there were like 5 different free meals that you could have had if you were a Rose-Hulman person here, and they recruit people on homecoming. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Those weren't just parties going on. They're actually recruiting members into their societies.
Nice.
The Army National Guard, or excuse me, the Army Corps of Engineers, recruiting engineers for their program. Other fraternities, sororities trying to get people involved in what's going. So they're literally. So Career Day had 208 businesses here on Thursday and Friday during home. 280 businesses. I'm getting talked in my ear on that one. And that's right. You think about it. That's what they're here to do, get an education and get a job and do those kinds of things. And this place is extremely good at preparing people for jobs. I talked to Trey Wirtz, one of the centers for Rose-Hulman's basketball team the last couple of years. And Trey's living in living in northern Indiana and working at an engineering firm. He said, well, it's kind of small, but it's a lot of fun. So, again, really good opportunity for these young people to be involved and to learn what it's like to live on their own and do the things they're supposed to do, and this place prepares them extremely well.
Looks like we're about ready to go here in the second half.
And new kicker for Rose-Hulman on the kickoffs, and that's Jonathan Oliger. And he'll pound this one. The sophomore pounds it down, gets it about the 10-yard line, hits him right in the face. It's bounced off and loose ball, and Manchester luckily held on to the footballs. We'll see some new people out defensively. We'll see some new people probably both sides here very soon. It is the starting defense going out. I see some of those guys that we can always tell their numbers and what's going on, and Rose-Hulman will start on defense here to start the second half.
Yeah, David Smith may get a talking to after that when he kind of jumped up in the air a little bit for no reason.
Well, and I will say this, there is a reason. And if you look at where the sun is located right now, it probably popped him right in the face on that one. So he had a hard time gathering that ball in. In at quarterback, Eric James, who had a pretty good first half, good numbers for him, but he just wasn't able to get the ball in the end zone too many times. They'll look inside, they'll give it to Smith, makes a move and cuts in. He'll pick up 2 yards. 2nd and 8 for Manchester.
It's a nice tackle down there by Jake Ivanich. He's a junior out of Utica, Illinois.
Getting the signals. Both sides are getting what they want. That's another thing for Rose-Hulman. They don't practice quite as long as some other schools because they just know their guys have to study. Inside run again for Smith. He makes one man miss, and he's hauled down and for no gain.
That's Ivanich again. So back-to-back plays, he's showing up big. One of the leading tacklers on the Engineer team.
So that'll bring up another third down play, 3rd and 7 this time. 41-7 is our score. Rose-Hulman with the lead, commanding lead in this ball game. Manchester slow to approach this one. Throw the quick screen out at the side, and they tried to actually get it out in the flat to the running back out of the backfield. Wasn't able to do it, and very fortunate because if it was targeted, it could have been a pick six.
Yeah, the accuracy's not really been there for either Manchester quarterback so far today.
He may have thrown that one away. And if he did, that's probably a good move because he didn't have anybody over there to throw the football to. Punt formation for the Spartans. Waiting at about 30 yards, the punt is off. And it's very short, out of bounds, no chance for a return this time. And we'll return for more action on Indiana Sports Network.
I'm All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor for York Automotive. York is my #1 pick for your next car, truck, or SUV. Shop from over 600 vehicles at yorkautomotive.com today.
You're #1 at York.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
And for Rose-Hulman, new quarterback, Rick Easterwood. We've seen him earlier this year into the ball game. So Rose-Hulman already substituting. They've got several second-teamers in. Huge run up the middle, down to the 25-yard line is Lance Shelton, who picked that one up, the senior. He's 5'4", 165 from Kansas City, Missouri. I will say, and I'm going to say this when this sounds really weird, but he's not the shortest player in Division III. He is not. I know that one for a fact. Article in USA Today this last week. Shelton again with the ball over the left side. He's going to pick up yardage, and they're going to get a hold call. That one will go on the left tackle. He held the man, and that'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot. Mark it back down, and we'll see where they're going to mark this one.
Well, it seems like no matter who Rose has put in the backfield today, they've been pretty successful. Ruperta, Shelton Smith, Hobbs, Harry, all of them have been able to rip through that Manchester line.
Well, and when you look at it, just a really nice job by Rose-Hulman's front. And in this case, the starting lineup incurs on the front line. They have the starting line in. They have the starting tight end in. But the receivers, they've substituted a couple guys in. There's a little bit of a change there into the ball game for Rose-Hulman is Jacob Nana-Fabu, the senior from Columbus, Georgia. He's in at one of the wideouts, and of course you have Shelton in at the running back spot as well. Shelton over the left side trying to pick and choose his way which to go, and he hides back there. And that's the best part about being that smaller, compact back. And Shelton really has some explosiveness in him. You saw that one. Also into the ball game as we're looking. Go ahead.
Well, I think that's Alex Martin in there. It's number 71 there in the middle. I don't know who else it would be.
He was not supposed to be in the ball game. Quick screen out there. Fabu with the ball, and he'll pick up just about 4 or 5 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd and 13. And Rose-Hulman finds themselves behind the chain. You don't want to really do that one on your opening drive, but at the same time, the clock's running, and they've continued to throw the football very well.
That's kind of what this second half is going to be all about. Just keep that clock ticking away. You've got a huge lead. Just keep it rolling.
And here comes the draw up the middle, and he gets wrapped up. Just about made it through, but Shelton couldn't get it done. So that'll bring up 4th down, and it is within a field goal range. We're going to see what they're going to do. They may just go for this one.
It's a nice tackle by Austin Lamar. He's out of Hobart, Indiana.
And it's offense. Here it comes. Easterwood. Pumped, got a man down the middle and missed him. So that'll be a turnover on downs, and Manchester will have the football when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
There is a greatness inside of you, a passion, a strength, a determination. So embrace it. Embrace the greatness that you bring to everything you do. Embrace the idea that you can do work that makes an impact, work that keeps the country moving forward and our economy strong. Because not everyone has what you have, and that's exactly what connects you to all of us at Great Dane. There's greatness inside of you, Are you ready to embrace it?
You are
Manchester with a football. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Good slant, nice completion, and a good run for Manchester. He gets it up close to the 50-yard line, and that's number 5 in there. That's LeVar Lejeune, the junior from Mableton, Georgia, and he's had a pretty nice ball game as a wide receiver. They just haven't gotten the ball to him enough. Motion across, they'll fake the jet, hand the ball inside to Smith, and he's going to pound it up in there for a couple yards.
It's important for Rose to keep the intensity here. Don't rest on your laurels. You got a big lead, second half, it's homecoming. It'd be easy to cruise home, but you've got to keep fighting because Manchester still is.
2nd and 7. Manchester with a football over the 50-yard line. 3 receivers at the top of your screen. Looking inside, corner blitz off the edge. They're going to get Smith. He's going to pick up about 4 yards. 3rd and 4.
I think that was Kaiser Bowen got him. He came into the game with 33 tackles. He's added 8 today, so the leading tackler on the team.
And it also helps that Manchester's run the football, as Bowen will be in on a lot of stops today. This is one of those where you look at stats and you're like, oh, he has this many tackles, but if somebody's throwing the football, Bowen's not going to have a lot of tackles. If they're running it, he is. They move it outside, pump, look for the screen. They pound it up in there, and they get nothing. Really nice job on the movement inside, and in that case, it looked like Riley Roberts. I can't tell really number-wise who it was that came out up off of that one, but Rose-Hulman with another good stop. 4th down, and Manchester will be forced to punt. So the tie that Indiana had in the ball game was erased, and Michigan wins 31-10. Pooch kick, got it down close to the 20-yard line. It'll roll inside, and Rose-Hulman will take over when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
It could be anyone. The star student, the all-state athlete. I never thought it could happen to me, that I could lose everything. I found help, I found hope, I found recovery. I regained something lost.
This game is presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
Rose-Hulman with the football, they're the fake the sweep off the edge and hand the ball in the middle. They're going to pick up 2 yards. And I'll tell you what, I'd be going with the Daniel Hury on that jet sweep as well.
Yeah, he's been pretty effective so far today. There's been a few of them we've already talked about quite a bit. That impressive speed for Rose.
Inside is Smith carrying the football and pick up another couple yards. The clock's running, and that's probably the best thing in the afternoon for Rose-Hulman, trying to make sure they get into what's happening here in this ball game.
Yeah, Rose-Hulman next week at Bluffton, like you said, they're not going to be the toughest match Rose-Hulman faces the rest of the year, but then they come home for 2 more this season, Franklin and Defiance, the 2 weeks after that.
Play action, got a man down deep down the middle, and they're not going to call anything on that one as, again, an opportunity to throw the actual fade down the middle of the field causes Rose-Hulman to go out. Tice Salou couldn't get to the football, and it will be a 4th down, and Rose-Hulman will be forced to punt.
Looks like a lot of this second half is just going to be field position, trying to keep Manchester backed up a little bit. And, they've had the ball longer than Rose so far in the second half.
Manchester showing rush, and they only bring partial. Huge punt. This is a huge difference. Smith's having a hard time finding. He corrals it about the 20. 25 up to the 30-yard line, and he'll be hauled in right at the 31, and that's where Manchester will have the football when we return for more action on Indiana Sports Network.
The city of Brazil was founded in 1866. By 1876, there were 2 schools, 7 dry goods stores, 2 hardware stores, 4 churches, and 5 drugstores. One of those drugstores is still there today, Lynn's Pharmacy. Lynn's Pharmacy has grown from a small neighborhood drugstore to a modern pharmacy, offering prescriptions and medical equipment with old-fashioned values and unparalleled service. You can even step back in time and visit Lynn's Soda Parlor
here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
Manchester with the football. 1st and 10 from the 31. Motion across. They'll hand it off. He dropped the football, and he's going to be hemmed in for about a 2-yard loss.
A lot of traffic in the backfield on that one for Manchester.
Well, and that's a good fake, but the ball was left on the ground, and that's definitely something you don't want to have done, as corralling it in was Eric James after the fumble. Manchester desperately trying to move the football.
Rose-Hulman pretty stout defensively so far. Manchester averaging just about 3 yards per carry.
Motion out of the backfield. They're going to go to the quarterback draw. And with that, he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage and no more. So gain of 2 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 10. So good opportunity for Manchester to try to put points on the board, but they're just not able to move the football very well. And again, a lot of second-teamers showing up for Rose-Hulman in this second half. 6:50 left to go in the 3rd period. Showing blitz. Looks like they could bring 5. Instead of being their 3-3 stack, they're in a 5-1, and they bring them. And here they come. Quick out. Does he break the tackle? He doesn't break it, as the rest of the pursuit gets there in time, and it is a 4th down. And out will probably come the punting unit. It does for Manchester. And Rose-Hulman will send back Hobbs again. Hobbs and Hury are back to return punts. And when you have those guys, anything can happen.
Yeah, no matter which one of them receives this, you've got to be heads up. Both very quick back there, both having good days.
Low punt. Hobbs could pick it up. He does. Makes one man miss. Gets to the outside. Makes another man miss. He's down the sideline and goes out of bounds. Lightning in a bottle. He had an opportunity, and we'll see. Here comes a penalty flag. Late hit. And we'll see what this one is before we make the break, because this one is an interesting flag. It came right at the end of what took place. Could be a block in the back. It appears that's what they're talking about. And with that, we'll take a short break. You're watching Indiana Sports Network.
Your All-Pro running back Jonathan Taylor here for York Automotive. Looking for an All-Pro deal on your next car, truck, or SUV? York is my #1 pick. With over 600 vehicles in stock, York has the largest selection to meet your needs. We're talking new, pre-owned, and commercial vehicles. Take it from one All-Pro to another, York has your best deal.
Shop online at yorkautomotive.com and we'll show you why we're not #1, you are.
We're not #1.
You are.
You're #1 at York.
This game is presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
Rose-Hulman with the football. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. They'll hand the ball off. And running around the left side and breaking a tackle, just makes it in for about a 3-yard gain, is number 20, Lance Shelton, the senior from Kansas City, Missouri. And I said earlier, Lance at 5'4" is not the smallest running back in college football. My son actually coaches that kid.
How tall is he?
He's 5'1", 125.
Good Lord.
They said he's the smallest guy they've ever had in Division III. There's the pick we talked about earlier. Nice play, and he's running, but no, he's going to end up with a football down at the 34-yard line, where Manchester ends up with a football.
I believe that was number 1, Markel Jackson.
He's had 2 shots at one and missed them. And then all of a sudden, that one, he popped up in the air. They both were fighting for the ball, and he and Markel Jackson Markel Jackson, yes, the corner from Sarasota, Florida, ends up with the pick. So a nice play by the young man. He gets the turnover for Manchester. Again, the Spartans trail the Engineers 41-7 in this ball game here in the second half. We're in the third period, 5:16 left to go in period number 3. Manchester with a football, play action. They've got a man open down the middle, and he drops the football. And they're going to call pass interference. Everybody had it. And when I say that, everybody, the back judge, they're throwing it all over the place. They got them both there. Now, you'll notice the official moved the flag, and the reason why is this. Because in college football, it's not necessarily everything. They're being rated, and they'll be rated on what they do in this ball game and what their procedures are. And one of them is when you throw a flag, it has to be at the exact spot where the foul took place. So even if you miss throwing it, you're not a good –
you got to go kick it up.
You have to go move it somewhere and put it in the right spot. So, you think about a running back 5'1", 125, and you're like, whoa. They say it's the smallest guy they've ever had in college football.
Guessing he's pretty speedy.
He is quick. Inside run, they'll run that insert play right up the middle. He's got a break down and Love down inside the 10. They're going to go first and goal from the 9. Nice run inside for their smaller back. He's 5'5", 170.
90 rushing yards on the day for Manchester, 118 for Rose.
And they've gotten a couple good rushes here, but momentum kind of changed in this one. They got the turnover, and now they're moving the football. 4:39 left to go in the third period. They're going to hand it off to Love again down the middle. He could go in. He's down to the 2. They'll say the 1. That's a good hard run by the young man.
Yeah, we kind of saw this in the first half where Manchester had the one big push. They got a score, and then Rose-Hulman was able to gather themselves and get back to normal. So we'll see if they can maybe get a stop here or at least answer back.
Bigger backs come into the ball game. They have their power-oriented offense. The old wing T, here it comes. They're going to pound it up in there with Smith, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Manchester's second of the day. So the turnover from Rose-Hulman causes that offensive possession for Manchester. They capitalize and put it in the end zone. It's 41-13.
3 turnovers on the day, and I believe Rose has 10 points off the Manchester turnovers, and now Manchester with 7 off the Rose turnover.
And they kick that one through, and it's 41-14 when we return for more action on Indiana Sports Network.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness. Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland. Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious. Yeah.
And everybody's watching good football this afternoon. We have a good one as well. Rose-Hulman 41, Manchester 14, and a beautiful day in Indiana. We get prepared for this kickoff as well. Again, a beautiful day. You can't ask for better weather than this one. If you're playing football, you want it to be 55, 60 degrees, sunshine, so it's not too cold, but at the same time, you don't want to be sweating and have problems with things like cramps or anything that way. It's just a nice, pleasant day for the guys to play football. In the stands, you want that sweatshirt. You want to feel a little bit better about what's going on. And with homecoming here going on in Rose-Hulman, it's a beautiful day. Here's the kickoff. Deep. They'll get it down to the 10-yard line. Hobbs with a football over the left side. He's got a chance. He makes the current turn on the corner and just gets hauled in at about the 34-yard line where Rose-Hulman will take over 1st and 10 when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
At Great Dane, we are proud to invest in our people and the communities we call home. We are hiring now for trailer assemblers and welders across the country. We need the makers, people who are ready to make a difference. We need you. Build something bigger for yourself and your family with great health benefits, advancement opportunities, 401k, pension, and more. Apply today at greatdane.com/careers.
Rose-Hulman with the football. They'll hand it off inside. It's Smith, and they're just powering it down inside. He'll pick up 6 yards. That was a brute force power play, and Rose-Hulman won the line of scrimmage that time. It's 2nd and 4.
At tick-tock goes the clock. That's the name of the game for Rose-Hulman.
And we saw them run and exercise a very fast, hurry-up offense. This one's not as fast. They're just consistently running the football. Gresscock in motion. They'll hand it off to Smith again. He breaks 1 tackle. He's got about 3 that time. It'll bring up 3rd and 1 for the Fighting Engineers.
Real quick update from over on the soccer fields. Rose-Hulman men lead Earlham 1-0 about halfway through the first half. The goal by, looks like Jacob Pohl scored for the Engineers.
3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Again, different quarterback for Rose-Hulman. They're playing their second-string guy, and Rick Easterwood. He's a sophomore from Bakersfield, California, and he's done a nice job so far. Smith with the first down and extra as well. And it'll put him up to about the 50-yard line. It'll put him over the 50, the 49. So you got 49 to score here on this drive.
It's like Devlin Spradlin in there. We're trying to get these guys we never call their names. They're doing all the dirty work down there, you know. Devlin Spradlin on the offensive line along with Justin Pearson.
Manchester again running that 4-2-5 offense, or 4-2-5 defense, excuse me. Give inside to Smith. He'll turn the corner and get it up in there, and he fights for extra yardage. He'll pick up 8 yards on the carry. Really nice run for Jay Smith, the freshman. You don't see a lot of freshmen for Rose-Hulman. And you'll say, well, why is that? That's a good thing. That means the guys that are a little bit older, a little bit stronger, and a little bit tougher are getting those opportunities. But if you see a freshman for Rose-Hulman, that means he's a pretty special player. And Smith fits the mold here of being that special guy. You can see he really can run the football, and they're giving him the opportunity. Great blocks up front. Smith hits the open field, and he goes down to the 30-yard line. Another quality run for Rose-Hulman.
Boy, and the thing you notice about the Rose backs across the board, there's no dancing around in the backfield. It's north and south. The wheels never stop turning. The legs are churning all the way, and, boy, they've done a lot of damage today.
Smith is 5'9", 180. And he has a little bit of wiggle to him, but more importantly, he runs with his low pads. Center of gravity for him really helps him gain yardage after that contact. And he's done a great job with it so far. A 3-4 defense now showing up for Manchester, and they're letting them run the football. Motion across, power play up the middle, gets the ISO, and they're just continuing to run forward. Another 4-yard gain for Smith.
Rose-Hulman wisely getting the play clock down to around 10 or 12 before they're running each play. Over 150 rushing yards now for the Engineers today.
Waiting on the play clock on this one. 21 seconds, and they're going to have to run. No, they won't have to run one. They're just going to run the clock out here in the third period, as the play clock has more on it than the game clock. So with that, they don't have to run another play, and they're running it all the way down. And we will be headed to the fourth quarter with Rose-Hulman leading 41-14.
Gen Z is a stall generation. The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
You are watching HCAC football at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
So we'll head to the fourth period of play, 41-14, Rose-Hulman with the lead and the football. And with that opportunity, you'll see him slow down even more, and that clock will run. And so not near as many plays as what we had in the first half. And Troy, when you see this one, the statistics prove Rose-Hulman's moved the football very effectively, but more importantly, in the showing on the field, they are just dominant up front right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Their offensive line has pretty much pushed Manchester's defense wherever they want to, and vice versa. The Rose-Hulman defensive line has shut down the Manchester running attack, except for that last drive, we'll say, I guess, but overall very well for both of them.
Play action. No, they're going to throw the little screen, and here he goes again. Down the right side, down in the middle. He's going to back it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rose-Hulman. And what a nice play by Daniel Urey. Great blocking up front. Grescott got a block on that one. I believe the other one was number 3, and Jacob Nana-Fabu. He also got a block in, and Urey, with his speed, he hits the open field, and it is nothing but pure delight for the Rose-Hulman fans.
And he's got the hat trick on the day. 3 rushing touchdowns for Urey, as he's now up to 124 yards.
And the kick is up and is good as well. And that kick by number 15, and that's Jonathan Oliger. He puts the extra point in. Rose-Hulman leads 48-14.
At Lynn's Pharmacy, we're more than just your pharmacist. We're your neighbors.
Our kids go to the same schools. We eat at the same restaurants.
We sit next to you in church.
When I listen to a symptom.
When I fill a prescription.
When I offer advice, I'm not just helping a customer. I'm helping my neighbor and a friend. My name is Lynn Hofstetter, and I'm the proud owner of Lynn's Pharmacy, a modern pharmacy with old-fashioned values and personal service dedicated to keeping you, your family, and our community healthy since 1872.
Here at Lynn's Pharmacy, downtown Brazil.
You are watching Rose-Hulman football on the Indiana Sports Network.
So Rose-Hulman with a 48-14 lead. Daniel Urey with the screen pass again. When he's taken 2 of those to the house, and you put him in the open field, give him a seam, and he's going to take it. Extremely quick and athletic young man. And again, Rose-Hulman just dominating with all phases of the football game. 1 turnover in the ball game, which led to a touchdown for Manchester, but the rest has been purely North Putnam. Or North, excuse me, Riverton. I'm looking at these. I'm having a bad day right now. Not enough sleep last night, folks. And here we go. A nice return for Manchester. Get it to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, David Smith, a really good return on that, spinning, breaking some tackles. See if he can get Manchester down the field. Real quick, 2 minutes left across town at ISU, and the Sycamores trail North Dakota State 31-26.
Good showing, but they have an opportunity if they can get a turnover. Rose-Hulman just consistently playing solid defense. And they're going to talk about that kick return. They've had 2 of them where Manchester's had really good returns getting it over the 40-yard line. Almost ended up with too many men on the field, and Love with the carry up the middle, and he gets stuffed, but they went after it. They thought maybe it was a fumble on that when Love was shoved back with a gain of 1.
Riley Roberts just stuffed him in the hole on that one. That was a great play.
Well, Roberts, that team leader on the inside, and he takes the seat as well after that when he gets called off the field, and now you're seeing a lot of second-teamers in for Rose-Hulman. Oh, offsides. They're going to throw it, and again, there was contact made prior to the snap. So contact made prior to the snap. Offsides for the Engineers, and Manchester will move the football up to the 50-yard line. Again, Manchester's had opportunities. They just can't finish the drives.
Yeah, they've moved the ball down the field on several occasions today, but as he said, there's always been something go wrong towards the end of the drive.
Back to pass, throwing it off the break, and it almost picked off. In coverage for Rose-Hulman that way is defensive back, that's T.J. McCray, the sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina. And he had his eyes set on that potential pick.
We do see another freshman on the field for the Engineers. Marshall Cook has come in at middle linebacker. He's out of Omro, Wisconsin.
Again, 27 different states represented on Rose-Hulman's roster. Spread formation 2-by-2 for Manchester. Showing blitz, here they come, and they got nobody to throw the football to.
Not sure the quarterback and receiver were on the same page on that one. A lot of pressure in the backfield, though.
It'll bring up 4th down, and out comes the punting unit for Rose-Hulman.
Jalen Hobbs going to be back to receive.
And you kick the ball to Hobbs, and you take it into consideration, and he could take that one to the house. He came very close to the last punt return he had. Different substitutions in, and he gets a nice punt this time. They'll roll it all the way inside the 5 down to the 1 yard line, and he finally gets a good punt.
There's a flag down, I think. Thought I saw one.
Nope, he threw his bag down and marked the ball. It'll be at the 2 yard line.
He just dropped it.
Did they just drop another one? And we'll see. The linesman is the one with the talking to the umpire on this one.
I did see, I think it was Eli Silva running on the field at the last second, so Rose-Hulman was a little bit out of whack.
Well, did they have 12? That's what you want to see. Were there 12 men on the field? And here's the bad part. If the guys don't know if there were 12, film will show it. And then the commissioner will get the call, hey, there's 12 guys on the field, and these guys, didn't get it.
There's no getting out of that.
And if there's 12 men on the field, if they participated, it's a big penalty. If they didn't participate, it's a 5-yarder. Either way, they would get a first down. So if the flag was dropped, which you said it was, and I missed that one, I'm looking down at the end, and they did mark where it was supposed to be, as far as supposed to be marked after the play. And here we go. Delay of game on the offense.
All that talk, and it's delay a game. All right.
We have to replay the down. And the Manchester coaches find the absolute irony in that one as they're laughing, going, what is that call?
Wouldn't be very happy either.
Well,
after you
here it is.
it
It's a substitution rule. In college football, you have to be able to substitute within a reasonable time, and they'll wait for 5 seconds or so. And everybody substitutes on a punt. That's why they're laughing, because they're like, wait, everybody substitutes like that. You can't hold out for the substitution rule. And they are talking this one over and taking a little bit of time to do it. And Coach Jensen is not a happy camper.
Yeah, he's still pleading his case over there, isn't he?
He's like, what are you talking about? Come on. So yeah, they're not exactly pleased with that one. But down 48-14, his ire is probably already up as well, because he's not real pleased. They're, you get behind in a ball game like this, you want to get over and go home. And with 13:45 left to go in the fourth period, here comes the second punt. He gets this one up, and a fair catch is called for and caught by Hury at the 14-yard line, and that's where Rose-Hulman will have it when we return on Indiana Sports Network.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes has the mission of leading every coach and every athlete into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ and His church. Through camps and huddles, character coaches, and special events, we are making an impact in West Central Indiana. Check out where you can get involved at our website, wcindianafca.org. FCA, we are the heart and soul in sports.
Rose-Hulman with the football. Handoff inside.
It is final from Memorial Stadium. Indiana State loses to North Dakota State 31-26, but a valiant effort by the Sycamores today. Hand it to them. Tough season so far, but they put on a show today.
Lance Shelton with the last carry, gained 3 yards. 2nd and 7. It's nice to play well, but it's even better when you win. Again, one of those opportunities that just kind of escapes you. Could have been. Shelton again with the carry over the right side. He's not going to gain much, if any, and they're pushing it. It almost looks like a scrum in rugby when they get into that big pile.
Shelton at 40 yards on the day. Smith now the leading rusher for Rose-Hulman. He's got 66 yards.
Well, he should be. He's really he's run the ball very well. Really nice, consistent run. And, it's nice when Easterwood gets into the ball game, too, and has been able to move the football. And mainly it's been running. He can throw the football.
Yeah, he takes pressure off of Robertson. I mean, he kind of led the charge to start the game. But
there comes the draw over the right side, and there he goes. Back to the right sideline. Back inside, he's got a cut back lane. Here goes Shelton down inside. They tomahawk and try to get the football out. Can't do it. The ball's rushed all the way down to the 41, where it'll be first down, Rose-Hulman. They're going to say that they're trying to say he fumbled the football. They're saying he's out of bounds. Nope, there's a penalty flag. I missed that one, too.
Yeah, I did, too.
There's a holding call on Rose-Hulman. He'll still have the first down, but it'll move the football back to the 27-yard line, so it'll be a first down. But at the same time, because it's a spot foul where it occurred, down to the 27, they'll say 28-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Rose-Hulman. Really nice play call.
Yeah, you just look at the average per rush today for the Engineers, and Hobbs only has 1 carry, so we won't count that. Ruperto with 4.4 per carry, Smith with 6 yards, and then Shelton 9 yards per carry, and he's got 9 attempts.
They're going to hand it. Power goes inside. Nice cut by Shelton, and they're going to call a holding call. And there's some extracurriculars starting to go on. A lot of little extra hits and shoves towards the end of each play, and that can cause both of these teams a lot of grief later on. You don't want to have anybody do anything odd, and they do.
And not only you don't want the injuries, but you got to keep your act together. Manchester's probably pretty frustrated. You've got some younger guys in for Rose.
And a first down for Rose-Hulman. Ball will rest at the 45-yard line, where the Engineers will have it 1st and 10. Again, second team, a lot of second-team players in for Rose-Hulman. And some guys in positions where they normally aren't in those positions. Inside run. Shelton will pick up just a yard.
Looks like John Fruska is in for Rose-Hulman. He's a grad student out of Valparaiso. He's at number 23, the tight end.
Yep. And again, that tight end H-back for Rose-Hulman moves on and off the line and over and helps run the counter plays that the Engineers will run. Outside zone, and they'll get outside. Shelton will go out of bounds, and that will be a third down play now. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Look at the schedule for Manchester coming up. They do get to go home for 3 straight weeks. However, it's not an easy road as they play Hanover next week and then Bluffton and Franklin. So, tough sledding coming up for the Spartans.
Well, they've already played Mount St. Joe, who defeated them last week 55-20. And if you're looking at it, pretty comparable score today and what's going on. Rose-Hulman being able to play a lot of guys in the second half if they want to, and that can help. Inside run, and Shelton has close to a first down, but he's going to be 1.5 yards short. So really close now. Do you punt this one and keep the clock running, or do you go up and they're going to try to hustle and draw them off sides?
Oof.
Just about had it. He was over the line and then moved back. And from where we're standing, you could actually see it.
Oh,
he had him again, and he didn't move. And again, in high school football, that's called offsides, and some of the people will be wanting one of those. In college football, somebody has to move to get them. And they may run this one down and just go ahead, and they take the 5-yard penalty or the timeout. They take the timeout. And with that timeout, we'll take one as well. Rose-Hulman leads 48-14.
Treatment for those with mental illnesses and addiction issues has evolved over the years.
In the late 1960s, Indiana's mental health system began to take shape.
From 1971
to 2021,
Hamilton Center has touched the lives of thousands of people in central and west central Indiana.
We are committed to the latest therapies
to improve the quality of life for those with mental illnesses.
Treatment works.
Recovery is possible.
And thank you, Indiana.
This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.
48-14, and it's a 4th and 2, and Rose-Hulman will step back to punt. Andrew Toller will get another opportunity to punt the football.
Caleb Irvin has scored twice. The Rose soccer team now leads 3-0 over Earlham.
Spread punt for Rose-Hulman and a basic punt return for Manchester. Pooches that one up, gets it inside the 20. It'll roll down to the 10. He'll take the ball. Smith takes it inside the 10. And Downing there, they'll give him the ball at the 10-yard line. When we return for more action here on Indiana Sports Network.
If somebody's kind of on the fence of going into a recruiting office or just reaching out to a recruiter, I would absolutely encourage it, if anything, just for the information.
We have a lot of enlistment bonuses out there right now, upwards to about $20,000. If you're in college or you plan to be to college, this is a great choice for you. Because our organization, we look for students who want to go to college. We also have educational benefits where we pay up to 100% of tuition.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
9:01 left to go in the 4th period. Manchester with the football at the 10-yard lines, 90 yards to go. They'll throw it out. They get it out to the running back, but an errant throw causes that one to go incomplete. And again, pass intended for Cameron Hovey, the running back from Sheridan.
Boy, the Rose defense has just taken Manchester out of their comfort zone today. I was just going through some of the stats, and Lejeune and Duriel Moss, I don't think we've called his name all day. He's the leading receiver for the Spartans.
Throw that one away as well. You had pressure in the backfield, potential roughing the passer, and they get one. And that should move the football up the field. A 15-yard penalty should give Manchester a first down. So he threw the football away and then got hit after it was well gone. So personal foul, roughing the passer. It'll be an automatic first down. Manchester with the football now at the 25-yard line.
A few of the other players in there for Rose-Hulman. Looks like Chase Wilkinson, a junior out of Boonville, is in at defensive back. You can also see Peyton Grenowitz, senior out of West Chicago, in on the line.
4-man front for Rose-Hulman. They're going to hammer it in there. Here goes Hovey. Right up the middle, and he just stumbles on that one. 2nd and 1 now for Manchester is, again, another running back in for the Spartans does a nice job, and Cameron Hovey.
Christian Marshall in the game, Christian Meyer, a junior out of Marthasville, Missouri, for the Engineers. So a lot of different names getting into the game right now that we don't normally see.
Yep, they're getting experience, and they need it. Again, Hovey with another carry. He's going to pick up 6. And substitution in. They're going to bring in Smith to run the football now.
There's a lot more noise coming from our left than there was earlier in the game.
Well, and we're right next to the Manchester coaches, and you get pretty frustrated when your team at trails like it is right now, and you got other guys coming in. They're trying to get them in the right formation right now, and it's a running-oriented formation. Motion across, and they're going to give it up. Nice play off the side, and they'll get him about 5 or 6 yards. Again, a nice job for Manchester as they continue to drive the football. It is Rose's second team, but at the same time, both sides are learning a little bit about themselves as they continue to move the football. 7:20 left to go in the ball game. Three receivers in a closed front to this side. They're going to play action. He's got a chance. He throws it out there and doesn't get it. The route wasn't run as well as it probably needed to be. They're going to have a flag at the line of scrimmage, potential hold. And we'll see which way it goes. Ineligible man downfield is what the call. And Rose-Hulman's going to take him back. So an eligible man downfield on Manchester. And they'll replay the down.
Justin Sands re-entering the ball game for the Engineers. Get some senior leadership back on that defensive front.
And trying to get it set up. 3rd down. I'll say second down. Got a man deep. He is open, and that's going to be an interference call. That's a pretty good play. And that's one of those where you know your guy is faster than anybody else in the ball game, and he went flying down there. And, again, you can take shots like that if you have speed. They have speed, and it's number 2. The wide receiver is Gabe Melvin, a senior from Jacksonville, Florida, who blew by the Rose-Hulman defender. That'll be another 15 yards and a first down, and multiple 15-yard penalties. They started this drive at the 10, and with a couple 15-yard penalties, you find yourself in pretty good position for Manchester.
Yeah, I think that was Christian Mayer. He just never got his head turned on that one and just ran the receiver over before the ball showed up.
Looking inside, there goes another good run by Manchester. They'll pick up about 5 yards on that one. David Smith, the running back.
Zachary Kohler in for the Engineers, the senior out of Wharton, Ohio. He's got to give Manchester a little boost just to at least see the ball move forward down the field a little bit. They've had a really rough day here, and, you know, it is what you would call garbage time, I guess, but they are making some progress.
Well, they're continuing to compete, and that's a good thing. Looking for that. Inside, it goes to Smith, and Smith will go virtually nowhere inside. They'll give him a yard. Again, trying to move the football up the field. Eric James, the quarterback. And he's taken over after their original quarterback, Trevor O'Brien, really had a rough first quarter. And James has kind of settled the troops, but still not getting a lot of points on the board after that first period of play. James looks again. Sets up, blitz by Rose-Hulman. He's going to throw it deep, and he's got a man, and he dropped the ball. That wasn't a bad throw. It was just one of those where he threw it up there and gave his man the opportunity, and he just couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, it was pretty good placement. He threw it just far enough. None of the defenders could get to it. Only his man had a shot at it, but just overshot a little bit.
4th down and 5, and Manchester's going to dial it up and take this one, and why not? They're in that position where they have a chance to get one. 4th and 5. James trying to settle the troops. Blitz is coming, and here it comes. Through the out, got a man open. He's got to go forward, picks up the first down, and gets hammered there. And a nice tackle by Rose-Hulman's number 52, and that's Marshall Cook, the freshman linebacker from Omro, Wisconsin. And I think they've got a good one in him because he just laid some wood to that young man. Nice catch by number 5, the LeVar Lejeune, the junior from Mount Vernon, Indiana.
Lejeune, the leading receiver for the Spartans today.
Looking inside, he'll throw the quick screen out to Lejeune, and he gets stuck right there, and no further does he go. Number 13 for Rose-Hulman, and the defensive back is Chase Wilkinson from Boonville. 4:38 left to go in the ball game. 2nd and 12. I want to thank our sponsors again, the Indiana Army National Guard, Culver's, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Micah Bonomo, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Great Dane, the Hamilton Center, Lynn's Pharmacy, Riddell National Bank, and York Automotive. Play action pass. They'll throw it inside, and he's got a man, and he caught it down inside the 15-yard line. They'll say it's a catch at the 12.
Harrison White into the game for Rose-Hulman at linebacker. He's a junior out of Williamsfield, Illinois.
You know, the only thing I really don't like about that throw is I don't think he's getting his shoulder pointed to the target as well as he needs to. Play. Nope, they're going to hand it off. Smith to the left side. He's down inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line. Still have a chance for a first down here. 2nd and 4. And again, you know this is against Rose-Hulman's second team, but at the same time, Manchester is moving the football. And they give it up again. Smith down inside the 4. They're going to say it's at the 4. We'll bring up 3rd down. 3rd and 2 now for the Spartans.
But as you mentioned, this is pretty good experience for, you know, the second teamers to get in there and get a little bit of experience, especially against a first-string offense,
Well, nobody's getting beaten up on the Rose-Hulman offense right now. And they need that. Oh, he's got an edge. Pumped. Oh, he had a chance to get in the end zone. He goes down at the 5. Nice fake by James, the junior quarterback. Had a chance to take it in the end zone, and he fell down.
Yeah, just lost his footing. Their turf monster got him. 4th and 3 now.
48-14 is our score. 2:30 left to go in the ball game. And Manchester's had the football a couple times down here that they didn't score. Motion across. Has a man open in the end zone. No, is it picked? Could have been. And that will end the drive. Rose-Hulman should take over on downs.
Harrison White got his hand in there. Great play by the junior.
So White with the knockdown, and I guarantee you wasn't trying to knock it down. He just dropped the interception on that one, and Rose-Hulman will take over with 2:12. They need to get another first down to run the clock out and see what we can do. We want to thank our camera operators for this afternoon's game, and Kanan Harper and Grant Hainig. And our video technician is Keith Lawson. We're produced and directed by Tony Harper. And again, we really like having the opportunity to do ball games here at Rose-Hulman. Inside run, and a good solid one again by Smith as he'll pick up about 3 or 4 yards. Manchester continues to claw at the football. 2 minutes left to go in the ball game.
So what are your overall impressions of Rose today? I mean, they were both sides of the ball looking
They were
great.
really consistent, especially early on. The onslaught, Manchester just wasn't able to hold on. They were trying to do too much too quickly, and when they did that, throwing the football off the back of your foot, throwing it up in the air just gave them 2 quick picks, and those picks led to 10 points. So 10 points of the first 20 were caused from turnovers, but the others were caused because Rose-Hulman's moving the football pretty well. Inside run by Smith, and he'll get close to the first down yardage. He'll be a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1.
This will be a feel-good win for Rose. I mean, solid through and through. Next week they head to Bluffton, looking for a 3rd straight conference win this season.
Well, and they start out with some of the weaker teams in the conference. I'm not saying that to be mean or nasty, but Rose-Hulman looks at their schedule, and they've got some bigger fish to fry here later in the season. And I think the non-conference schedule has given them an opportunity to really play better. They played 2 really good non-conference teams to start the year. This is an important 3rd down just to run the clock out. Smith will take the football. He'll get the first down, and that should end the ball game without too much ado, and there it is. So the first down, and they can let the clock run without doing anything in this one. And Rose-Hulman comes up with the victory. We'll keep this one on, and you can watch Rose-Hulman go through their post-game celebration here. Homecoming. Rose-Hulman will win the football game 48-14. And again, just an outstanding ball game. Troy, it's been good having you here as to help out with color commentary and do those kinds of things. I know it's probably a good thing to have you do this one, but Rose-Hulman comes into this ball game 1-3. They'll leave with a 2-3 mark, and more importantly, 2-0 in the HCAC, and they'll keep pace for their quest for another conference title and a chance to play in the Division III national playoffs. They played last year against DePaul. They lost a very close game last year. They opened the season with a very close loss to DePaul. And for Rose-Hulman, they want to keep pace and see if they can get back in the national tournament. For Coach Jeff Sokol, he's seen improvement, And right now he has two quarterbacks that can play, which early in the season he didn't have two quarterbacks that could play. Had to go to the third string guy, and that caused some problems. Wasn't able to move the football as effectively as he wanted to. You're going to watch Rose-Hulman come over and sing the school fight song once they all get through the line and everybody gets lined up here. That's one of the traditions at Rose-Hulman. It's a great tradition and a great tradition for this institution. Rose-Hulman, the number one engineering school in the country that only goes up to a master's degree in education. Great young man, great opportunity to go to school. I met with one of the families out here. They said, yeah, we came all the way from Arizona to watch our son. I'm like, this is pretty cool. So winning on homecoming, and here it comes. Seniors up on the stands, leading them in that school fight song. And Rose-Hulman wins 48-14, and what a really good ball game for the Fighting Engineers. Again, this next week for Rose-Hulman, they'll travel away and go to Bluffton, and then we will have the next two ball games on October 22nd. It's Franklin at home, a 1:30 start. October 29th, it's Defiance with another 1:30 start, and they finish the season at Hanover and at Mount St. Joe. Those are two of the teams that we know could compete for that conference lead and title. And again, they have to hold serve all the way through. If you're going to get into the national playoffs and win the conference, you have to win them all, because you don't want to go down to a tie and have somebody take care of it from a win or a loss, depending on what's happening in the season. Rose-Hulman controls their own destiny and what would take place in conference, and that's what you really want. Again, maintaining that undefeated conference mark is what the Fighting Engineers want to do, and they were able to handle Manchester this afternoon. And for Manchester, they'll go on and play Hanover, Bluffton, Franklin, Defiance, and Anderson in that order, and we want to wish the best to them as well as they move on in their season. We're going to close out this afternoon. Again, Rose-Hulman wins the ball game 48-14, and beautiful day, beautiful action. It's homecoming, and we hope you have a great day as well, and we'll say so long this afternoon from Rose-Hulman.
You are watching Rose-Hulman football on the Indiana Sports Network.
You're watching College Sports on the Indiana Sports Network, presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.
You're watching the Indiana Sports Network.
This program is a copyrighted production of Indiana Sports Network and cannot be shown, reproduced, or redistributed in any way or in any form without prior written permission from Indiana Sports Network.
Welcome to Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, the U.S. News & World Report's #1 engineering school in the United States that offers a master's as its highest degree for 20 consecutive years. Rose-Hulman, where you come to find yourself. Find yourself through personal growth, through personal development, through study, research, and invention. Rose-Hulman, your home for academic and athletic excellence.
You are watching HCAC volleyball at Rose-Hulman on the Indiana Sports Network.
This game is presented by the Indiana Army National Guard.
Gen Z is a stall generation.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the